Welcome back to the Scott Community Events Center in Scott City. We're just about set for Game 1 of our Colby Eagle basketball doubleheader tonight. Girls action between Colby and Scott City. Let's meet the starting lineups. First for the visiting Lady Eagles of Colby, 9-8 on the year, 1-2 in the GWAC, coached by Tom Stevens in his 4th season. It's the usual starting 5 for Colby tonight. At the point, Brooklyn Jones, a 5'7 junior. At the 2, Brianna Barnett, a 5'4 senior. At the 3, Mackenzie Dodson, a 5'7 senior. At the 4, Emma Curry, a 5'9 junior. And in the middle, Kennedy Stanley, a 5'9 senior. Jones, Barnett, Dodson, Curry, and Stanley for the Lady Eagles, who are in their road black uniforms. The Scott City Lady Beavers are 5-12 on the year, 2-1 in the GWAC, coached by Amy Felker in her first season on the bench after coming over from Dighton, where she won a state title at the 1A Division II level back in 2016. They will start tonight like this. At the point is Erica Felker, the coach's daughter, a 5'5 freshman. At the 2, Mallory Cupp, a 5'3 freshman, getting the start in place of Amber Lotta, Scott City's leading scorer, who is not dressed tonight. At the 3 is Allie Patton, a 5'9 junior. At the 4, Ella Rumford, a 6'1 junior. And at center, Brooke Strine, a 6' sophomore. Felker, Cupp, Patton, Rumford, and Strine for the Lady Beavers. They are in home white. The Scott City public address announcer currently introducing the starting lineups. And is apparently taking his time because they are not exactly flying through the introduction of the Colby starting lineup, which gives us a little more time to break down this matchup. Also gives us a chance to let you know you are listening to 100.3 The Ride, KRDQ Colby. I'm Dan Lucero, Clayton Jacob, the producer-engineer, and this is Colby Eagle basketball from Scott City tonight. These games had originally been scheduled for Tuesday nights. They were postponed due to weather, not just driving conditions, but the possibility of a rolling blackout, which could not have been predicted, but certainly was within the realm of possibility for that Tuesday night. So instead, we all got to stay snug in our homes that night. Now the public address announcer is starting to get through the Scott City lineup. Again, it was Colby with a 41-37 win when these two teams met back on December 18th at the community building. Had to rally from behind. They were down 3, 35-32 after 3, but they held Scott City to just 2 fourth-quarter points. It's been the story of most of this season for the Lady Beavers. They have struggled to put it in the basket, but their last 3 games, they have scored 56, 55, and 49 points and won them all. But they will, again, have to continue that offensive momentum without their leading scorer, Amber Lotta, who is not dressed tonight and will not play. Colby will start with the basketball. They will go left to right as you're listening, or if you're watching along with us on the Rocking M Media NWKS YouTube channel. You can search for Rocking M Media NWKS on YouTube. Find our channel. Have the live broadcast tonight with this audio, and we have the archive of broadcasts throughout the season for you there as well. Mackenzie Dodson stands out of bounds at midcourt across the way from my broadcast position to inbound. She flips it into an unguarded Brooklyn Jones in the backcourt, and we are underway from Scott City tonight. A 2-3 or 3-2 zone, it looks like, from Scott City to start things off defensively as Mackenzie Dodson holds in the right corner. Out to the wing for Jones, who starts it around the horn. Now it's reversed by Barnett back to Jones. Short corner right, Mackenzie Dodson. Double team back out to Jones. Now around the horn to Curry, left wing. She dumps it in the corner for Dodson. Dodson back to Barnett, high left. Now Jones, top of the circle. Ella Rumford, all 6'1" of her, at the top of this 3-2 zone. Jones with the dribble, top of the key. Thought about the 3 as she picked up the dribble. Skips the pass right side for Curry instead. Curry hands back to Jones. Colby content to maneuver the ball around the perimeter here. Left corner Dodson lost her footing and stepped on the end line, an unforced error. And a turnover for Colby on their opening trip. 45 seconds, no paint touches, and a turnover. Not an ideal start to the night for the Lady Eagles. First Scott City possession. Colby guards man-to-man, and a foul called on an entry pass. Kennedy Stanley going for the steal on Brooke Strine, and Stanley picks up the foul. That's her first. It comes 50 seconds in, and the senior center will have to tread lightly and try to avoid foul trouble against this big front line. Quick inbound to Strine, who misses a 5-foot jumper from the right elbow. Missed it off the backboard, and the rebound to Emma Curry for Colby. Into the front court are the Lady Eagles. Barnett stops her dribble between the circles. Right wing pass for Dodson. Back to Barnett. Now Stanley, top of the key. Hand off to Curry. Curry right wing for Barnett. Into the right corner, Dodson. She's open for three. Off the back rim. Big bounce on the board. Brooklyn Jones tips it to herself in the left corner. Colby resets. Minute 20 into this game. No score. Jones, top of the key. Right wing for Stanley. Right corner to Barnett. Out to challenge her is Strine. Back around it comes to Curry. Left wing in the left corner for Dodson. Dodson back to the wing for Jones. No look between the circles for Barnett. Now Stanley foot inside the arc on the left. Skip pass to Curry, right corner. She hoists a three. That's an air ball. Loose ball rebound in the middle of the paint. Stanley had it and then was tied up by Allie Patton. Jump ball. The arrow favors Scott City. There will be some three-point opportunities for a Colby team that loves to shoot them, but they went 0 for 2 on that trip. Colby on the year averages just under 6.5 made three-pointers per game. In the right corner, an open three look for Felker rattles home, and Scott City takes a 3-0 lead. 2 minutes into this one, Scott City not a proficient three-point shooting team, just 23% on the year. Felker at 19% coming into tonight. But she got an open look and converted. Now Emma Curry looks to respond. Too strong with a three from up top. Stanley, the rebound, elbow left. Stanley powers her way inside. Drop step right around Strine and lays it in with the right hand. Second chance basket for Colby. First two for Kennedy Stanley. Lady Eagles trail 3-2. 5:35 to play first quarter. Into the front court is Felker. Step back top of the key. Fakes a three. Left wing pass for Rumford. Rumford stops her dribble left elbow into the corner for Patton. Now down low Strine. Turnaround jumper over Stanley. Rims out. Rebound weak side to Curry. Ahead to Jones. Colby wants to run. 3-on-2 if they hurry. It's Jones. Weaving through traffic. Right wing to Dodson. A transition three on the way. Nothing but net. Mackenzie Dodson from downtown gives Colby a 5-3 lead. Their first lead of the night. Her 15th made three of the season. 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. And Colby has their first made three of the contest. Patton right corner to the wing for Felker for Scott City. Now cut between the circles. Left corner for Patton. She has space. Fires the three off the front rim. Weak side defensive rebound. Emma Curry. Outlet to Jones up the left side into the front court. Jones crossover gets around Felker. Lost the dribble. Short corner left. Turns around. Fires a 17-footer and it buries it. Brooklyn Jones with the mid-range. And Colby's on a 7-0 run. They lead 7-3 with 4:35 left in the first. Felker calls a play as she crosses the midline. Angles left. Pass in the left corner for Patton. Short corner Rumford inside to Strine, who pulls it away from Curry and lays it up with the left hand. First two for Brooke Strine. Good ball movement as Colby's defense never quite got set and allowed some free passing along the baseline. 7-5 Colby as we approach the midway point of this first quarter. Brooklyn Jones on the right wing for Colby. Behind the back dribble, trying to shake Felker and can. It's Scott City's a man-to-man. Now Curry, top of the key. Let's go a three. Missed it short. Rebound falls underneath to Patton for the Lady Beavers. Felker up the middle of the floor into the front court off a high screen. In the left corner for Patton. Short corner Rumford. Rumford back down low to Strine, who fumbles. Rumford gets it back. Kick out Felker. Top of the key. Contested three. Swish. Erica Felker has knocked down a pair of threes. And Scott City is back in front 8-7. 3:35 to play first quarter. Felker averages 6 a game. She's already there. Stanley, top of the key for Colby. Backdoor look not there. Pass left wing for Barnett instead. Barnett off the screen. Screen and slip. Pass deflected. Stolen away. Strine got a hand on it. The loose ball came down to Cup. Second Colby turnover. Patton in the left corner. To the high post. Strine. Turnaround jumper over Curry. Left it short. Rebounded by Stanley underneath. Colby in a hurry. Outlet pass to Jones up the left side. And she slows the pace. Colby doing a good job on the defensive glass. That's a point of contention of late for Colby, a point of concern for Coach Tom Stevens, but they've started brightly on that end. Brooklyn Jones, right corner, a three on the way. Rattled out, no. Rebounded by Patton, strong side for Scott City. Good look off the skip pass. Jones was open in the right corner, but the iron unkind. 2:40 to play first quarter. Scott City ball with an 8-7 lead. Entry pass to short corner left, deflected by Mackenzie Dodson, out of bounds. And Scott City has run the same set, the same action the last 3 or 4 times down, getting the ball to Ella Rumford, short corner left against Colby's 2-3 matchup zone. Felker to inbound from underneath, pass deflected, stolen. Jones streaking down the left side, has Barnett with her but doesn't need her. Goes the distance and lays it in with the left hand. Brooklyn Jones puts Colby back in front 9-8 with 2:25 left in the first. Off of Scott City's first turnover of the evening. Cup high right for the Lady Beavers. Skip pass to Patton. Patton on the drive into the paint. She goes stripped to the ball, but a whistle and a foul call. Dodson or Stanley. One of the two got a hand in. And it's Mackenzie Dodson who picks up her first. And that's a much better outcome for Colby than if Kennedy Stanley had earned her second personal. Felker inbounding from underneath. Pass stolen away by Mackenzie Dodson. He snatched it out of the air and brings it the other way. Lead pass ahead for Stanley through traffic, and Stanley couldn't handle it. It's through her fingertips and out of bounds underneath. Colby turns it right back over. 9-8 Colby, 2:04 to play first quarter here from Scott City. Erica Felker on the jog with a right-hand dribble into the forecourt. High post right pass for Brooke Strine. Strine down low to Rumford. Low block left, turn around, baby hook off glass. Too strong, rebounded by Dodson. Dodson's giving up about 6 inches in that matchup with Rumford, but held her own there. Curry high left between the circles for Jones. She puts it on the deck, backing up near the Beaver logo at midcourt. Jones has it back from Stanley up top, around the horn, Dodson right corner. Strine out to guard. Now Jones finds Barnett between the rings. Barnett to the high post for Stanley. Stanley, skip past Curry, who leaps to catch left corner. Now it's Dodson in the post, out to Barnett, quickly to Jones up top. Jones on the drive through 3 defenders, out to Curry left wing. In the corner for Jones, turnaround 3. In and out, rebounded by Rumford. Brooklyn Jones has had 2 really good looks at 3 and 2 really bad bounces. Minute 08 to play first quarter. Scott City ball trailing 9-8. Cup and drive and kick, top of the key. Patton a 3 off the front rim. Rebounded by Cup, put back from the right block, around the rim twice, and it dropped. Mallory Cup with the second chance bucket. Scott City back in the lead, 10-9. Our 4th lead change of the first quarter. Final 45 seconds of the first. Curry fakes a 3 right wing. As Scott City goes back to man defense on this possession. Jones with a dribble between the circles. Up top for Stanley, back to Jones right wing. Jones holds the ball above her head to Barnett through the elevator screen up top. Cup stayed with her. Barnett off a screen drives. Pinned underneath. Kicks out to Curry left wing. Curry penetrating. On the run. Her shot partially blocked, but she was fouled. Free throws coming up for Emma Curry. That's the first foul on Scott City. It's called on Ella Rumford. Emma Curry to the line for a pair. On the year, 9 of 18, 50%. First free throw try for Emma. Swishes through to tie the game. 24 seconds to play in this first quarter, and Emma Curry has one more freebie with a chance to put Colby back in the lead. And she does. 11-10 Lady Eagles. Felker into the front court for Scott City. Right corner to Patton. Short corner Rumford across, or rather Strine across the post to a wide open Rumford, and that's too easy. Scott City's running that low post action over and over again. Colby hasn't stopped it. 12-11 Scott City. 5 seconds to play in the first. Curry, top of the key. Backdoor for Jones. Reverse layup. Hit the rim, but she was fouled with a second left. Jones was too far underneath the rim to get the ball up off the square, but Erica Felker committed a foul to send Brooklyn Jones to the free throw line. It's Felker's first foul, team foul number 2. Brooklyn Jones on the year, 83% from the stripe, a team average of 77% shooting free throws this year for Colby. Nothing but nylon on the first try for Jones. That ties the score. One more to give us our 7th lead change of the first quarter. On the way, in and out, rebounded by Rumford, and that's the end of quarter number 1. Honors even after 8 minutes. Colby 12, Scott City 12. We're back in a minute. You're listening to the Eagles on radio on 100.3 The Ride. Yeah. Okay, great. All righty. Well, okay, I appreciate you telling me. We may change the format anyway just to simplify it a bit for the simulcast, but I will leave a format for you. Thanks. Dan Lucero back with you from Scott City, the Scott Community Events Center. 1 quarter in the books in this GWAC girls basketball contest. And it's Colby tied with Scott City 12-12. Neither team made a sub in the first quarter. And right now Scott City has 4 players on the floor. There's their 5th, and Scott City, still with their starting 5, has not made a sub. Colby ball left to right to start quarter number 2. Brooklyn Jones takes the ball over the divider. Accelerates to the top of the key against the 3-2 zone. Has it back from Dodson. Now Curry open. Top of the key 3. Left it short. Long rebound out to Mallory Cup for Scott City. Erica Felker into the front court for the Lady Beavers. Right corner for Patton. Patton back to Felker on the wing. Colby overplaying that pass into the short corner that time. Strine, high post, feeds across the lane to Cup. Her shot is swatted out of bounds. Access denied. Emma Curry with the stuff, rotating nicely to block the shot out of bounds. Felker inbounding in the right corner. Finally into Cup, who drills it off her foot out of bounds on the baseline. Colby ball. 6 lead changes in that first quarter. Colby led by as many as 4. Scott City's largest lead was 3-0. Colby with the basketball in the front court. Kennedy Stanley left wing. Skip pass to Jones on the right. Now in the corner, Dodson. Dodson back for Jones. Starts it back to Barnett, top of the key, who reverses it quickly to Stanley. Stanley back to Barnett between the circles, as Scott City's length making it hard for Colby to pass over the defense and into the paint. So the ball continues to work around the wing. Dodson, short corner left, skip past Jones, top of the key, squares the feet, shoots the triple, left it short, rebounded by Dodson, low block left side. Colby resets. Curry fakes a 3, back to Dodson, left corner, back to Curry on the wing, now Barnett. 6:40 to play in the first half, tied at 12. Nothing doing on the scoreboard so far in this second quarter. Dodson to Stanley, short corner left, kick out to Jones. Jones on the drive, beats a defender, Euro steps around another, and scoops it up and in off the glass with the right hand. Brooklyn Jones right down the middle of the floor to give Colby the lead, 14-12. 7 points already for Brooklyn Jones tonight, leading all scorers. Cup, high post Strine, barrels over Curry, no whistle to lay it with the left hand up and in off the window. Brooks Strine ties the game at 14. Jones into the front court. Angles right, spins back left, hands off to Stanley, top of the circle. Left wing pass for Barnett. Barnett off of Stanley's screen to the foul line, stops there. Bounces it back for Jones outside the arc. Jones off the screen to the foul line. Step back, 2-point jumper on the way. Banks home! Little step back 15-footer for Brooklyn Jones with the left hand. She's got 9. Colby back in the front, 16-14. 5:35 to play in the first. Patton, top of the key, hand off to Cup between the circles. Left wing pass, Rumford outside the arc. Skips it back across for Felker. Felker back across Patton. Patton inside to Strine, backing down Stanley. Turnaround jumper off the window. Too strong. Stanley rebounds. Stanley leaves it for Barnett in the backcourt. She brings it over the timeline. The senior pitches left side to the junior Jones. Now Barnett has it back with Stanley now left elbow. Back for Barnett, now right corner Dodson. Dodson feeds back to Barnett. Now Jones top of the key, keeping the Scott City's zone defense's feet moving. Barnett top of the key with it. Right wing pass for Stanley, right corner Dodson. Ball moving from side to side. Colby again reverses. Top of the key Jones. Now Stanley left wing into the left corner for Mackenzie Dodson. Back to the wing Jones. Now Barnett top of the key. Tom Stevens hollers motion from the Colby bench. Colby resets. Short corner left. Stanley. Kick to Jones. Top of the arc for 3. Bullseye! Brooklyn Jones from downtown. She's having a big first half. A dozen points. 19-14, Colby's largest lead with 4:20 to play in the first half. Quickly into the front court, Strine at the foul line. Feeds down the middle of the paint to Patton, and Patton was fouled on the catch. And that foul on Brooklyn Jones, her first, team foul number 3. Felker with the basket to her right underneath inbounds. Rumford on the catch. Bank shot from the right post. No. Put back by Strine. The middle of the paint is good. Second chance basket for Scott City. Brooke Strine with half a dozen. That cuts the Colby lead to 19-16. Halfway through quarter number 2. Jones trying to get around a high screen from Curry. Behind the back now. Crossover through the paint. No look pass. Wide open Stanley. Layup good in the foul. Oh, a spectacular no look pass through the paint from Brooklyn Jones. Sets up Kennedy Stanley and a chance for the 3-point play. Stanley to the line after being fouled by Rumford. That's Rumford's second foul. And the free throw by Stanley on the way off the front rim. Rebound tracked down by Rumford. 21-16 Colby after the Stanley bucket. 3:47 and counting to play here in the first half. Patton long 2 from the left elbow is an air ball, but Felker underneath the basket catches the rebound. Felker stops her dribble left corner. Out to the wing for Rumford. Now Patton top of the circle. Foul line Strine. Turns to face up. Stanley, pass into the paint, deflected away from Cup and stolen. Dodson has it, out ahead to Jones. Jones bounces through traffic. Stanley, low block, right, layup good. Timeout, Scott City. A couple of delicious assists from Brooklyn Jones to Kennedy Stanley has given Colby a 7-point lead, 23-16, with 3:24 to play in the first half. We're back in 1 minute. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. .324 to play in the first half. Colby on a 9-2 run to take a 23-16 lead, and then Colby with a press, and on the inbound, the ball slipped out of Mallory Cupp's hand, and she was the first one to touch it after inbounding it, which is not allowed. That's a turnover, Scott City's 5th. Colby ball underneath Mackenzie Dodson to Emma Curry, right corner, a 3-pointer on the way, in and out, rebounded by Brooke Strine for the Lady Beavers. Scott City made a sub, the first of the game for either team. Cheyenne Kramer, a 5'7 freshman, checking in, replacing Ella Rumford, who picked up her second personal foul not long ago. Patton to Strine on the high post, turnaround 15-foot jumper over Stanley off the heel. Long rebound, Karams to Stanley, and Colby on the run. It's Jones up the right side, cut off by Patton in transition. So Jones slows it up with a pass to Curry. Now Jones has it back. Jones with a dozen to lead all scorers here in this first half, and has set up Kennedy Stanley on 2 highlight reel assists. The last 2 trips down. Curry, left corner, baseline jumper, swish. Long 2 for Emma Curry, her first field goal. She's got 4. Colby scored 6 straight points and opened up a 9-point lead, 25-16, with 2:35 left in the first half. Felker driving kick deflected, came through to Cup right corner, back to the wing. Felker tosses up a 3 and buries it. Erica Felker, just a 19% three-point shooter, but she's made 3 tonight. For all 9 of her points, she's keeping Scott City in it. They trail 25-19 with 2:15 to play in the first half. Man defense now as Emma Curry tosses a 3 from the top of the key. That's off the back rim. Rebounded by Felker underneath for Scott City. And she jogs it ahead. Pass ahead to Patton in the paint. 5-foot jumper bounces out. Rebounded by Dodson. Triple team. Pass away to Jones. And a 3-on-2 for Colby. It's Jones whipping a pass across left corner for Barnett. Barnett down low looking for Stanley. Patton got there first to poke the pass away. And the loose ball to Cup. A turnover by Colby. Minute 45 to play in the first half. Scott City ball down by 6. Patton top of the circle. Left corner for Kramer. Kramer had the ball stripped by Dodson. Got it back high left. Into the corner now, Patton. Underneath to Strine. Strine across the floor to Felker. Right corner, another three-pointer on the way. That one's short. The rebound out of bounds off of Scott City. Colby's starting 5 has gone the distance so far in this first half, leading by 6. Brooklyn Jones walks the ball into the forecourt left to right. Pass high right for Dodson. Now in the corner, Jones. Jones back to Dodson on the wing. Dodson, using her pivot foot, finds Jones in the corner. Skip past Curry up top. Now Barnett, the only Lady Eagle not to score. Pass in the left corner, too hot for Dodson to handle. Tried to bounce pass, but it bounced off of Dodson's toe and skittered out of bounds. Dodson looked at Barnett like, hey, how wide open. A little bit of a lighter touch next time, perhaps. Turnover number 5 for Colby. Scott City the other way. Left corner, Patton. Into the short corner, Kramer. Double team lurking. She bounces out to Patton outside the arc. Now cut between the rings. Base guarded by Barnett. Pass to Patton. Free throw line's down on the right. Now Kramer on the high post. Back out to Felker. Fakes the 3. Cut off on the drive by Barnett. Out to Cup, who drives with the left hand. Stops in a double team and traveled with the basketball. Drag the pivot foot for turnover number 6 for the Lady Beavers. 37 seconds to play in the first half. Colby by 6 with the basketball. Brooklyn Jones into the front court. Scott City back in that 3-2 zone. Dodson in the right corner for Colby. Out to the wing for Jones. Barnett keeps the ball going around right to left into the left corner for Dodson. Dodson with a dribble reversal. Now short corner left for Stanley. Out to Jones with 15 seconds at the top of the key. Curry back for Jones, high on the right. Down to 10 seconds. Jones with some space. Out to guard is Patton. Off the screen, Jones angles left. Skips the pass, Barnett in the corner with 5 seconds. Back to Jones with 3. In the corner, left, Barnett, a 3. Air ball, tipped by Dodson. Good! And it counts! Mackenzie Dodson tipped in the miss from the weak side. The ball barely skimmed the iron, and Dodson was there. Nobody boxed her out, and she tips it up and in to beat the buzzer and sends Colby into the locker room with an 8-point lead. It's the Lady Eagles 27 and Scott City 19. We'll take a 2-minute break, come back with the Cornerstone Ag halftime show. You're listening to Eagles on Radio on 100.3 to Ride. Halftime at the Scott Community Events Center. The Colby Lady Eagles with an 8-point edge over the Scott City Lady Beavers, 27 2:19. You're tuned in to the Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show, and I am Dan Lucero. Delighted to be with you this evening from Scott City. First quarter was a back-and-forth affair that saw 6 lead changes. Scott City led first. Then Colby went on a 7-0 run thanks to a Mackenzie Dodson three-pointer as part of that run. That actually gave Colby their first lead of the game at 5-3. Scott City then scored 5 straight points. A three-pointer by Erica Felker, putting them back in front 8-7. The lead would ping-pong back and forth. A free throw by Kennedy Stanley with a second to go in the half tied the score at 12. That's where things sat after 1. The two teams would be tied at 14 apiece before Colby went on what ended up being an 11-2 run to take the lead. A three-pointer in that stretch from Brooklyn Jones helped to give Colby a 5-point lead, and then Jones assisted on back-to-back hoops from Kennedy Stanley to push the lead out to 7. Then an Emma Curry jumper made it a 9-point game at 25-16. Scott City got back within 6, but Mackenzie Dodson beat the buzzer with a tip-in off of a Brianna Barnett miss. And that restored an 8-point advantage for Colby, and that's where it stands, 27-19, the Lady Eagles in front. We'll take another 2-minute break. When we come back, we will have some halftime numbers for you, as well as a quick look at the boys' game tonight. That's coming up on the Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. Colby 27, Scott City 19. Score at the half of the girls' game from Scott City tonight. Dan Lucero back with you on the Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show. Halftime scoring leaders for Scott City. It's Erica Felker's three-point shooting, keeping Scott City in this one. The 19% three-point shooter has knocked down 3 triples and leads the way for the Lady Beavers with 9 points. Brooke Strine has added 6 points, and it's 2 apiece for Ella Rumford and Mallory Cup. Scott City again tonight playing without their leading scorer, Amber Latta, who is not in uniform tonight for the Lady Beavers. Colby had 4 of their 5 starters get into the score sheet. Brooklyn Jones leading all scorers with 12 points. It was 6 points for Kennedy Stanley, 5 points for Mackenzie Dodson, and 4 points for Emma Curry. Coming up after this one, we'll have the boys contest. It was a Colby win over Scott City at the community building, 46-34 back on December 18th. Colby boys will be looking for a season series sweep, but more importantly, they are looking for some positive momentum as the postseason looms. Colby comes into this game on a 7-game losing streak, trying to snap that bad mojo and get back on the winning track here tonight in Scott City. Stay tuned for that game, Game 2 of our doubleheader. We'll be back with the second half of this one. Again, it's Colby 27, Scott City 19 in the girls' game. This has been the Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show, and you're listening to the Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. Back for the start of the third quarter. The Colby Lady Eagles leading the Scott City Lady Beavers 27-19 as we get set for the second half to begin. Colby starting five is back on the floor. Brooklyn Jones, Brianna Barnett, Mackenzie Dodson, and McCurry and Kennedy Stanley. The five for Scott City, the same five that started the game: Erica Felker, Mallory Cupp, Ellie Patton, Ella Rumford, and Brooke Strine. Scott City ball left to right as the third quarter is underway. High post, Brooke Strine jumper, blocked by Emma Curry, rebounded by Kennedy Stanley. Good help defense there by Curry. Colby the other way, long pass into the left corner for Jones. Jones pulls up, pump fake, 10-foot jumper, in and out and back in. Brooklyn Jones with the mid-range. Colby turns defense into offense to take a double-digit lead, 29-19, with 7:30 to play in the third. Patton left corner out to the wing for Felker. Now Cup top of the circle. In the right corner for Patton. To the short corner. Strine drives the baseline. Pull up. 8-foot jumper rattles in. Colby overplayed going for the steal, and Strine was free when she caught the pass to turn and shoot an open shot, and she drained it. Strine with 8. Scott City back within 8. 29-21. Still the opening minute of the third. Both teams into the score sheet early in the period. Curry stops her dribble up top, pass into the middle of the post. Stanley drop step left, shot up over Strine, up and in. Kennedy Stanley doing work on the block. She's got 8. 31-21 Colby. Minute and change into the third. Angle dribble left for Felker to Strine at the foul line. Back out top for Felker. Felker angles right, driving into the lane, lost control of the dribble, and the ball out of bounds off of Felker. It's Colby ball. Turnover number 7 for Scott City. Brooklyn Jones into the front court for the Lady Eagles. Slows her dribble at the top of the key. Angles right off the screen. Skips a pass left for Dodson. Now Curry, top of the circle, with space for 3. In and out. Rebounded underneath by Cupp for Scott City. Curry hasn't quite found the three-point marksmanship left. The team leader with 39 made threes has yet to sink one, but she's gotten good looks from outside, and she has the green light to keep on shooting. You know that. Ella Rumford through the paint with the left hand, out top for Felker. Felker covered by Barnett, back to the left wing for Patton. Now in the corner left side, it's Cupp. Cupp into traffic, stripped to the ball, loose ball gathered by Rumford on the elbow. Back out for Felker, drives to the right hand, tucks the ball on her hip and is fouled on her way to the basket. And the official underneath is ruling this a shooting foul on Brianna Barnett. It's Barnett's first on either team in the second half, and it sends Erica Felker to the free throw line. We're on the air. She's a 69% shooter. First free throw try on the way for Felker. Gets a friendly shooter's roll and drops in. Puts her into double figures with 10. First trip to the line of the game for Scott City. Colby is 3 for 5 from the stripe. Second free throw off the back rim. Long rebound to Brooklyn Jones, who sprints up the right side into the front court. Behind the back dribble off her heel, but Jones keeps the bounce alive and angles back towards midcourt. 31-22 Colby. 5:40 to play in the third. Dodson high left. Whips it to Curry up top. Man-to-man defense now for Scott City. Lob underneath Stanley. Low block right. Layup short. Rebound loose. Gathered by Patton underneath for Scott City. Couldn't tell for a moment. Into the front court comes Felker to Strine at the foul line. Strine feeds a cutter through the paint. Patton left alone, and she floats it in. First two for Allie Patton. Now all 5 starters have scored for Scott City. And the Lady Beavers back within 7. 31-24. 5:10 left in the third. Stanley had Dodson wide open on the back cut, but didn't see her. Instead, it's Barnett high right. Off a screen, Barnett on the drive. Into the painted area she goes. Kick out to Jones. Left corner, a wide open 3. Yes, sir! Brooklyn Jones from downtown. The triple gives her 17 points. 34-24. Colby back up by 10. 4:45 to play in the third. And now there's a steal at the top of the key. Kennedy Stanley's got a breakaway. Stanley, jump stop, layup, short. It may have been partially blocked from behind by Strine, who chased her down and grabbed the rebound. Into the front court are the Lady Beavers. Rumford across, short corner right for Felker, long 2 in and out. Rebounded by Strine, low block right, put back, rattles in. Brooke Strine, the sophomore, starting to impose her will on both ends. She's got 10 for the Lady Beavers, who trail by 8, 34-26, 4:10 left in the third. Brooklyn Jones up top for Kennedy Stanley. Left wing pass to Dodson. Dodson stops her dribble up top and is being hand-checked by Allie Patton. There's a whistle and a foul. First foul on Patton, first foul on Scott City. And Tom Stevens wants a timeout on the Colby bench. It's a full timeout, so we will take a 1-minute break with 4:04 to play in the third. Colby 34, Scott City 26. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. So far, first 4 minutes of this third quarter have been all even. Colby maintaining the 8-point advantage they took into the locker room, 34-26, with 4:04 to play in the third. Officials are conferring before Mackenzie Dodson inbounds just above the free throw line extended on the right sideline. Colby going right to left as you listen here in the third. And now 2 other officials are conferring. And one of them is at the Colby bench having a word with Tom Stevens. Not sure what it's about. Inbound to Jones on the right wing. Back up top for Dodson. Back to Jones with space. A three-pointer on the way. Nothing but nylon. And Brooklyn Jones, for the 5th time this year, has a 20-point night. She's sitting on 20 points. And Colby has their largest lead, 37-26. 3:50 to play in the third. Cheyenne Kramer just checked in for Scott City. She has the ball poked out of her hands, out of bounds in the left corner by Mackenzie Dodson. Possession stays with Scott City. Kramer's out there in place of Rumford. Inbound to Felker, top of the key for the Lady Beavers. Felker to the left wing for Cup. Cup back across for Patton. Now Strine on the high post. Strine with a lefty dribble and kick left corner for Cup. Back around it comes to Felker, top of the circle. Felker off a stride screen, a step back three from straight on. Off the front rim, rebounded by Emma Curry, strongly underneath for Colby. Lady Eagles wanting to push. It's Jones flying into the front court. Into the right corner to an open Mackenzie Dodson, transition three, nothing but the bottom of the net! Mackenzie Dodson, second three of the night. She's got 8 points, 40-26 Colby. They've opened up a 14-point lead as we approach 3 minutes to play in the third. Kramer on the left wing for Scott City. Up top for Patton, driving down the middle lane with the right hand. Shoots a runner and collides with the defender. It's an offensive foul as Kennedy Stanley drew the charge. Foul on Patton, her second, team foul number 2. Sub in for Scott City. And it is Emma Rumford back into the game wearing a new jersey. She must have had a cut and some blood because she now is wearing number 43 instead of her number 1. That's why I was a little bit delayed in getting that news to you. I did not know number 43. I did not have one on my roster. But that is Rumford back out into the game for Scott City. Kennedy Stanley, right corner. She'll try a three for Colby. That's off the front rim. Rebounded weak side by Patton. A good box out for Scott City. 2.5 minutes to play in the third. Colby 40, Scott City 26. Patton right wing for the Lady Beavers. Into the corner, Rumford. Bounce pass to the cutter, Patton. It's poked away from her, out of bounds underneath. It was Curry and Stanley defending. One of them got a hand on it last. Felker to inbound underneath the basket. Hoop to her right. Felker lobs to the top of the key for Patton, who casts off a three. Left it short. Long rebound out to Felker in the right corner, just inside the arc. Felker dribbles and has her pocket picked by Mackenzie Dodson. Then Dodson loses control of the ball and loses it out of bounds on the baseline. Both teams get a turnover there. Felker inbounding baseline right corner. Lob for Rumford on the wing. Rumford watched by Jones in the 2-3 matchup zone. Around the horn it comes to Kramer. Short corner left along two on the way is an air ball. Rebounded by Rumford, and she's bumped on the board. A foul called on Stanley. Stanley's second, team foul number 2 on Colby in the half. So Felker again inbounding with the basket to her right underneath. The lob out to Cup. Cup lefty drive into the paint. Kicks to Rumford. Long two from the left corner. An air ball. Rebounded by Dodson for Colby underneath. Dodson, baseball pass out ahead, intended for Stanley. Cup leaping to make a deflection, and it's off of Cup and out of bounds underneath. Sub coming for Scott City. Brooke Strine will return to the game. Strine replaces Kramer. Mackenzie Dodson inbounding right corner of the baseline to Curry, who turns around and fires up a 10-footer. Too strong. Offensive rebound. Dodson, low block left. Colby resets. Jones to Barnett right wing. Barnett for a three. That's an air ball. Rebounded again by Dodson. Third chance here for Colby. Barnett out near midcourt with the dribble. Picks it up. Flips it right side for Dodson. Dodson to Curry, top of the circle. Curry thought about the NBA three. Gives to left wing for Barnett instead. Now Jones. Jones back to Curry, head of the key. Curry fakes a pass, one dribble, steps into the triple, and nothing but net! There's a three for Emma Curry, her first of the night and 40th of the season. Colby on a 9-0 run, leads 43-26 with 1:10 left in the third. You give her an inch. It doesn't matter. If she's in the gym, you give her an inch to shoot. Her range starts when she walks onto the floor. Rumford, or rather Patton, nearly stripped left corner out to the wing for Felker, across to Cup right side. Cup into the paint. Rumford, turnaround 10-footer, swish. Ella Rumford knocks down the mid-range to stop that 9-0 Colby run. 43-28 Lady Eagles, 45 seconds left in the third. Angling left is Brooklyn Jones. Now top of the key for Curry. On the back door, Jones is open. Reverse layup with the right hand up and in. 22 for Brooklyn Jones. 45-28 Colby. 30 seconds left in the third. Beautiful basketball there. First time Colby's really been able to run that high-low backdoor cut for Brooklyn Jones that they like to run. Patton passes to Felker, nearly stripped by Curry, and then Curry, a little aggressive on defense, fouls Felker with the body. That's Curry's first. Team foul number 3 on the Lady Eagles. Sub for Scott City, it's Brinley Stevens coming in for her first action. Stevens, a 5'6" freshman, into the game replacing Allie Patton. Felker inbound, tried to throw it into the post. Stanley poked it away from Strine. Loose ball to Dodson, a turnover. Here comes Colby. Final 10 seconds of the third. Brooklyn Jones, top of the key with the dribble. Curry comes to set a screen. Jones angles right. Crosses over. Gets by Cup, and Cup fouls her with 4 seconds left. That's a good foul to give. Cup reaching in her first. Team foul number 3 on Scott City. Means Colby has to come up with something off an inbound with 4.9 seconds left in the third. Dodson inbounding. Top of the key extended on the right. Into Jones. Back to Dodson. Back to Jones. Right wing three-pointer on the way. Short. Rebounded by Dodson, but she can't tip it towards the rim as time expires in quarter number 3. Colby finding the range from downtown. They knocked down 4 threes in the quarter and have taken a 17-point lead, 45-28 over Scott City. Back with the fourth after this. You're listening to the Eagles on radio, 100.3 The Ride. Fourth quarter set to get underway from the Scott Community Event Center. I'm Dan Lucero. Colby 45, Scott City 28 in GWAC girls basketball action. Game was tied at 12 after one quarter. Colby outscoring Scott City 33-16 cents. Colby ball right to left to start the fourth. Brooklyn Jones has it left wing in the corner for Stanley. Back to Jones on the wing. Now Barnett top of the circle. Right wing for Dodson. Colby staying with the starting five. They played every minute together so far. Dodson top of the circle. Left wing pass for Curry. Curry to the high post to Stanley. Stanley on the left elbow. Stripped from behind by Felker. And we have a jump ball. The arrow favors Scott City. Kennedy Stanley's got some tape on her right hand. It's kind of around her hand, not around the fingers, but around the palm. And maybe that contributed to a slippery grip on the ball. But Felker able to come in, force the turnover. Colby's 7th. Scott City into the front court. It's Erica Felker with the handle. Quick pass to the high post, deflected away from Rumford and stolen. The loose ball to Barnett. Out ahead Jones, driving down the right baseline. Pass across, got deflected and stolen by Brinley Stevens. Turnover for Colby. Felker in the left corner for Strine for the Lady Beavers. Down low Rumford, backing down Stanley, across the lane to Stevens. Now up top for Patton. Patton spinning at the right elbow. Kicks it back out up top for Strine. Minute and change into the fourth quarter. 45-28, Colby in front. Strine, left corner. Pitches to Rumford on the block. Kick out for Patton. Now it's Felker driving. Stripped of the ball. It rolls to Patton. Patton in the middle of the paint. Collides with Stanley. It's a blocking foul on the shot. 2 free throws coming for Allie Patton as Kennedy Stanley didn't get the feet set in front of the defender. That is the third foul on Kennedy Stanley. The fourth on Colby in the half. 2 free throws coming for Allie Patton, a 56% foul shooter. First try on the way here, nothing but nylon. Sub for Scott City. Mallory Cup is back in the game, replacing Brinley Stevens. A young reserve core for Amy Felker, the Scott City team. Struggling through a rough year as Patton makes both free throws. 5 and 12 coming into tonight, but very young, and with the coach of Amy Felker's track record, it's not going to be long before Scott City is duking it out with the heavies in the GWAC and Class 3A again, you would think. Brooklyn Jones, lefty dribble around, pulls up left elbow, 10-foot jumper, rolls home. 24 points for Brooklyn Jones. She's just 2 points off a season high. 47-30 Colby, 6:20 to play. Jones' season high is 26. That was against Dodge City in early January. Patton left corner for Scott City, out to the wing for Felker. Felker holds it above her head, now shoots a three over Jones. It's short, long rebound out to the foul line. Jones collects. Jones trying to spin away from Patton as Patton was reaching in to try and disrupt the dribble. Now into the front court, Curry. Catch and shoot, three left wing, in and out. Rebounded by Stanley underneath. Stanley double teamed out to Barnett, and Stanley fouled on the pass. Hacked across the arm, I believe, by Rumford. No, check that. They're going to get Cup, it looks like. Yeah, they got it on Cup, her second. Now we have a timeout on the floor. It's a timeout called by Scott City. This will be a 1-minute timeout. We'll take it with 5:51 to go. Colby 47, Scott City 30. You're listening to the Eagles on radio, 100.3 The Ride. 47-30 Colby in this GWAC girls basketball game. They lead Scott City with 5:51 to play in quarter number 4. Kennedy Stanley off the inbound play has it low block right. She kicks out to Curry in the corner. Curry brings the dribble out to the wing, and Colby resets their offense. Brooklyn Jones left wing up top for Emma Curry. Scott City back into the zone defense that they've played for most of this contest, though they have switched to some man at times. It's really a kind of an amoeba defense now as they're keeping Strine in the middle of the paint, and the guards are chasing everybody around the wing as the ball moves side to side for Colby. Brianna Barnett has it high right between the circles for Jones. Jones hassled by Felker, left wing pass Curry, left corner for Dodson. Dodson to Curry, high post left, fakes the shot, drives past Strine, layup up and in. Emma Curry with the nice shot fake and drive, 49-30, Colby's largest lead with 5 minutes to go. Felker left wing, hands off for Patton to the high post Strine, turnaround jumper, blocked by Curry, her third block of the game, rebounded by Barnett. Here comes Colby. Brianna Barnett into the forecourt. Right wing pass for Curry, in the corner to Dodson. Dodson back to the wing, Barnett. Now Jones between the circles. She flips to Curry, underhand left side. Now Dodson in the corner, back to Curry on the elbow. 12-foot jumper, nothing but nylon. And Emma Curry's in the double figures. She's got 11. Colby on a 6-0 run, leading at 51-30 with 4:30 left. And leaving no doubt in this GWAC contest. Rumford left wing for Scott City. Skip pass across to Patton, who drives down the right baseline. Shoots over defender. There's a contact, no whistle. Missed the first shot. Missed the follow, but got fouled on the putback attempt. That foul on Kennedy Stanley. That is her fourth. And team foul number 5 on the Lady Eagles in the half with 4:14 to play. Allie Patton at the free throw line for a pair. First free throw off the back rim, no good. Sub for Colby for the first time tonight. It's Emma Wright who checks into the game. The 5'4 sophomore replaces Brianna Barnett. Second free throw try coming for Patton, and she splits the pair. 51-31 Colby as we approach the midway point of this fourth quarter. Colby will earn a season series sweep over the Lady Beavers. Right wing. Back for Jones. Now Curry. Deep three left wing. That's an air ball. Maybe a little too deep that time. Dodson saves the rebound in for Wright. Back to Curry, who tries again from the right wing. That one off the front rim. Rebound loose out of bounds. Last touch by Scott City. It was Strine who had the last touch. Another sub coming in for Colby. It's Mackenzie Carmichael, the 5'7 junior. She replaces Emma Curry. Sixth time this year we've seen Carmichael. Emma Wright playing in her 8th game of the season. Inbound from Carmichael underneath is out of bounds off of Scott City. Patton jumped the pass intended in the left corner for Dodson and poked it back out of bounds. So second try at the out of bounds play here. 3:49 to play in the game. You're listening to 100.3 The Ride, KRDQ Colby. As Brooklyn Jones prepares to inbound. Long pass out to the top of the key, caught by Wright. Back for Jones. Jones takes the dribble out near midcourt. Jones bounces for Dodson up top. Dodson back for Jones on the wing. Jones flips to Stanley between the circles. Colby spreading things out, and with a 20-point lead, not in any kind of hurry to get the ball up to the rim. Jones out near midcourt, hassled by Felker. Spins to her left, keeping the dribble. Between the legs to the right, back to the left with a crossover. Stops on the left wing, gives to Dodson up top. Right wing pass for Wright. Wright off a Dodson screen, being chased by a double team, gets around it to the foul line. Feeds the cutter, Dodson down the lane right, the layup good. Mackenzie Dodson, the third Lady Eagle in the double figures. She's got 10. 53-31, what a set, what an assist there from Emma Wright. Ball thrown away out near midcourt. Hustling forward is Patton. Patton got there first, but then flung it out of bounds as she and Mackenzie Carmichael both went to the deck after that loose ball. A turnover for Scott City, their 13th. 53-31 Colby, 2:55 remaining in this one. Jones walks it over the divider. High right pass for Dodson. Now Carmichael on the wing. Out to challenge her is Patton. Now a pass to nobody in particular. It's caught by Strine at the foul line. A turnover there. Not sure what Carmichael saw or who she was trying to pass to, but there was nobody in a black jersey near it. Now Rumford down the lane on the right. Shot fake. Layup. Too strong off the glass. Long rebound to flex out to the left wing. Felker runs it down. Felker through the lane. Her scoop shot with the left hand hit the front rim. And Mackenzie Dodson clears it for Colby. Jones again to walk it forward for the Lady Eagles. Angles left. Back to the right with a pass between the circles for Dodson. Dodson right wing for Emma Wright. Wright coming off the screen, had the ball 5 on the Lady Beavers. Another sub coming for Colby. It's Anna Stramel, the 5'9 freshman, and we'll see Courtney Finley as well, the 5'3 senior. This is Stramel's 7th appearance, her first since the Hoxie game all the way back on January 30th. As Dodson and Stanley and Jones go to the bench, we also get a look at Shaylee Showalter, the 5'5 sophomore, who inbounds a pass that is deflected away on the right wing and right back out of bounds. And Tom Stevens did not like that out of bounds play, so he just brought his starting lineup in to get the ball in bounds along the right sideline. 53-31 Colby, 2:01 to play. But Tom Stevens wanted to use this as a coaching moment and is coaching up all 5 of those players. I'm sure he'll send them back in. Meanwhile, Dodson feeds a cutting Stanley, who blew the open layup. Loose ball on the rebound. Rumford dives for it and has it. Able to flip to Strine, and Scott City comes the other way. Hustling ahead is Patton, and Emma Curry gave a foul so that the second 5 could come in for Colby with 1:46 to play in the game. The foul on Curry, her second, team foul number 6. Only Lady Eagles to dress and not get in right now are Sydney Brown and Liv Tubbs. As Scott City makes a change, Erica Felker had been getting a brief rest. She replaces Allie Patton. The inbound from underneath. Cup finds Felker right wing. Underneath the Strine. Spins to her left in the paint. Hook shot off the back rim. Rebounded by Carmichael. And Carmichael is fouled. Team foul number 6 on Scott City. That's, I think, on Cheyenne Kramer it is. Minute 40 to go. This one limping towards an inevitable conclusion. Colby will earn their 10th win of the season, their second in a row. Brinley Stevens is back in for Scott City now, replacing Cup. Shaylee Showalter takes the inbound, feeds into the front court, high right for Emma Wright. Wright at the controls, stops her dribble in the Beaver head at midcourt, right wing pass Showalter. She dribbles into the corner, hooks a pass to Wright. Wright is underneath the basket, double team, Bounce pass, split 3 defenders, went all the way out to midcourt. Showalter there to run it down. Then Showalter is fouled on a reach-in by Felker. That's Felker's second and team foul number 7. So Shaylee Showalter, who has yet to score this season for Colby, has a chance to get into the score sheet. Meanwhile, here comes some subs for Scott City. Jonna Sowers, a 5'4 sophomore. Hannah Tucker, a 5'10 sophomore. And Jordan Coe, a 5'6 freshman, are all into the game. Shaylee Showalter, a 1-1, short on the front end. And Scott City has the board. Into the front court comes Sowers for Scott City. Angling to her left at the top of the key. Pass to Kramer, short corner left side. Now it's back outside the arc up top with Sowers. Right wing pass for Coe. Coe double team, stripped by Carmichael. Loose ball along the right sideline. It's out of bounds. Last touch by Colby. And Tom Stevens will make 2 more subs. Everybody who's dressed is going to get into this one. Sydney Brown checks in, the 5'9 sophomore. And Liv Tubbs, another 5'9 sophomore, into the game. Stramel and Carmichael sit. The inbound into the right corner, caught by Kramer, underneath to Tucker, backing down Tubbs, missed the shot. Brown has the rebound underneath. Final 50 seconds of this one. Colby by 22. Shaylee Showalter, high left, pressured in man-to-man defense, high screen coming. Showalter takes it around with the right hand, passed another defender into the paint, right-handed layup, fell off the left side of the rim. The rebound out of bounds off of Colby. 32 seconds to play. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast in the pregame show that Colby had scored 783 points as a team coming into this game. The starters had 773 of them. Starters for Colby have all 53 points tonight. Coe left wing for Scott City. Up top, it's with Stevens. Now in the high post, Tucker. Down the lane on the left. Bank shot from a tough angle. Short. Rebound to Sydney Brown for Colby. 12 seconds to go. Finley into the front court. High left, Showalter down to 5 seconds. Down to 3, down to 2. Showalter dribbling it out, and that's your ball game. The Colby Lady Eagles have won back-to-back games for the first time since late January. They are 10-8 on the year and 2-2 in the GWAC as they thump Scott City tonight, 53-31. Scott City falls to 5-13, and they drop to 2-2 in league play. We'll take a 2-minute break, and we will come back with the Farmers and Merchants Bank postgame show. It'll be an extended postgame show tonight because of Senior Day festivities. You're listening to Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. Yeah, send it back to me after 14. We're going to hold 15, and we're going to take a longer pregame here because they're doing senior night. So, yeah, 13 and 14 play them together.
You do a good job.
Hey, thank you.
Love listening to it.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
My name is Dad.
Oh, it's wonderful to meet you. Welcome back to the Scott Community Events Center in Scott City. Game number 1 of our Colby Eagle basketball doubleheader is in the books. The Colby Lady Eagles victorious in this one by a score of 53-31 over Scott City. With the win, Colby goes to 10-8, 2-2 in GWAC play. With the loss, Scott City is 5-13 and 2-2 in the GWAC. Welcome into the Farmers and Merchants Bank postgame show. I am Dan Lucero. In a bit, we'll hear from Tom Stevens, head coach of the Colby Lady Eagles, get his thoughts on tonight's game and a bit of a look ahead to tomorrow night when Colby is at home for the final time this regular season as they take on Cimarron. This game was pretty even for a half. There were 6 lead changes in the first quarter, and Colby and Scott City were tied at 12 after 1, but Colby started to impose their will in this game with an 11-2 run in the second quarter that pushed their lead out to 9 points. It would eventually be 8 points at the half, 27-19. Colby went on a 9-0 run in the third quarter to really blow the game open, take a 17-point lead, and they led this game by as many as 22, and that was the final margin, 53-31. Tom Stevens making his way to my broadcast position, and we're going to get a word with the Lady Eagle head coach here on the Farmers and Merchants Bank postgame show as he puts on the headset. Tom, good all-around performance from your girls tonight. What did you like best about the way your team came out and played after a pretty long layoff?
I thought we were executing pretty well. We got some good shots. We took care of the ball pretty well. Defensively, second half we were better keeping the ball out of the middle.
What was the key to the offense clicking the way it did, especially in that second quarter when you really started to get it rolling?
Well, when you hit shots, it seems like it's rolling, but our girls have put in a lot of time offensively, and so they take a little pride in executing some offensive things, and I thought they did a good job tonight.
Are there some more things that you feel like they are starting to execute better, more sets, more cuts, more sharing of the basketball? Do you think you're seeing that improve as this season goes on here?
Yeah, I think that's typical of a team that they're not so mechanical as the season goes on and more aware of what their options are, 1, 2, 3, instead of just being real mechanical and telegraphing everything. So I think we're getting better in that aspect.
Defensively, they had a girl who hit a couple of threes early, and then they were able to run a pretty successful set out of the low post. But it seemed like you made an adjustment that really made it harder for them to score as the game went on. What was the key to that adjustment?
Well, we just rotated better, and when they got up to high post, they were cutting on us, and we did a better job the second half. Not allowing them to get an easy layup on a cut, and not letting them get it from short corner to mid post there. And I thought we did a better job, and it prevented them from getting easy baskets.
No easy nights in the GWAC. Next up, Cimarron. Quick turnaround tomorrow night. What do you expect from the Lady Jays? How will they challenge you tomorrow?
Cimarron, they haven't lost very many games. Their record's really good, and they are very good. They've got a 6-foot guard that's a sophomore that's a really, really good player. And they're a bunch of juniors that are really good as well. They're real athletic. We have to get back. They'll try to run on us. And they got a whole bunch of kids that can shoot the three. So we'll have to really defend against this team.
They are also, going into your senior night. You've got senior night tomorrow at the community building. What's the emotion of that night like, and how do you want to use that emotion in a positive tomorrow?
Well, I just approach it as another game, but I'm sure the seniors are all going to be a little emotional, being the last game they'll play at Colby and the last game they'll play in the community building. So I just approach it as another game, and we'll have to put those emotions aside when we get out there on the floor.
Congrats on the win tonight.
Yep, thanks.
That's Tom Stevens, head coach of the Colby Lady Eagles, victorious tonight again by a 53-31 score. We'll take a 2-minute break, come back, and then wrap up the Farmers and Merchants Bank postgame show. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio 100.3 The Ride. Nope. And Monday, yeah, with no school rhythm either, so I know that makes it tough. Do you need me to look at you too? I can. Okay, I'll look at you for one. Colby 53, Scott City 31. The final score in the girls contest tonight from Scott City. As Farmers and Merchants Bank postgame show continues. Final scoring numbers from this one. Scott City was led by Brooke Strine and Erica Felker, who scored 10 points apiece. It was 5 points for Allie Patton, 4 points for Ella Rumford, and 2 points for Mallory Cup. Colby just had 4 in the score sheet, 3 of them in double figures. Brooklyn Jones led the way with 24 points. The 5th time this year she scored 20-plus in a game. It was 11 points for Emma Curry and 10 for Mackenzie Dodson. Kennedy Stanley just missed double figures. She had 8 points. Tonight's Colby Dodge Ram Tough player of the game, we're going to give the nod to Brooklyn Jones. She was super. She went into a little bit of takeover mode in the second quarter where she knocked down a big 3 and she had a couple of dazzling assists. She was doing it all for Colby as they started to pull away right then and there after a tight first quarter. Colby would lead by 8 at the half, and they would never look back in the second half, and Brooklyn Jones, such a big part of it, with a big night offensively. 24 points. Brooklyn Jones is tonight's Colby Dodge Ram Tough player of the game. That'll do it for Game 1 of our doubleheader, but don't you go anywhere. Game 2 is coming your way next, a boys contest between Colby and Scott City. We're back with the Funk Optometry pregame show after this. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. We welcome you back to the Scott Community Events Center in Scott City for game number 2 of our Colby Eagle basketball doubleheader tonight. It's boys basketball action in the Great West Activities Conference as the Colby Eagles, 6-11 on the season, 1-2 in the GWAC, take on the Scott City Beavers, who are 4-13 and 0-3 in league play. Dan Lucero back with you on the Funk Optometry pregame show. So glad you're with us. Hopefully you were with us through game 1 as well. A 53-31 win for the Colby girls over Scott City. The Eagles hoping to duplicate the feat of December 18th and make it a clean Colby sweep over Scott City on the hardwood. But Colby wants a win for a lot more reasons than that. The Eagle boys are mired in a 7-game losing skid coming into tonight. Their most recent game, a tough draw for any team last Friday night when the top-ranked team in Class 5A, the Hayes Indians, came calling. Colby had it close for a half. They were within 4 points of the Indians, 33-29 at the intermission. But in the second half, Hayes outscored Colby 40-11 and doomed the Eagles to their most lopsided loss of the season, a 73-40 final score. Colby did get standout offensive efforts from their two senior leading scorers, Ryan Myers and Peyton Wallmeyer. Wallmeyer, coming off of injury, it wasn't certain he would even play on Friday. Not only did he play, he played great, ended up with 17 points. Ryan Myers, the 6'2 senior who is Colby's leading scorer on the year, averaging 15 points a game, added 13 in that losing effort. Colby has not won since January 22nd in a 55-41 win over Beloit. Since then, a 9-point loss to Hayes, an 11-point loss to Holcomb, a 16-point loss to 2A number 1 Hoxie, a 20-point loss at Norton, a 16-point loss at 3A 5th-ranked Hugoton, an 8-point home loss to Goodland, and last Friday, that 33-point defeat at the hands of the top-ranked team in Class 5A, the Hayes Indians. So you can tell it's been a rough go, but you can also tell it's been a difficult schedule. And Colby is trying to keep their heads up and understand that the challenge in front of them is still to be playing their best basketball going into sub-state. And this Colby team knows what it takes to win as an underdog in a sub-state, having taken down Lakin to reach the Class 3A state tournament last year. The Scott City Beavers, on the other hand, they are coming off of a victory the last time out. They played on Saturday, a makeup game at Cimarron, a game that had been rescheduled because of COVID concerns with Cimarron's boys basketball team. They had originally been scheduled to play back in January. Instead, they played on Saturday, and Scott City came away with a road win, 45-40, that snapped what had been a 4-game losing streak. Scott City controlled the game as well. They led the entire second half and led by as many as 12. It was a balanced scoring effort for Brian Gentry's Beavers, and that's the way it's been all year, as the Beavers do not have a double-figure scorer. Their leading scorer, senior guard Josh Rosine, averages just under 8 points per game, and he didn't play in that game against Cimarron. They were led by Gus Hawkins, the 6'5 freshman post player who came off the bench to score 8 points. Scoring 7 points were starting senior guard Blaine Culp, a 6-foot senior, and also Lawson Bailey, a 6-foot sophomore who comes off the bench for these Beavers. Brian Gentry will go 12 deep. He'll sub about every chance he gets, and he's just trying to find some offensive balance. And lately, it started to turn in a positive direction for Scott City. This is a team that on the year averages just 39 points a game. But if you look at their last 5 games, they've scored 54, 35 against Hayes, an awfully good team, as Colby well knows, 46, 47, 45, and 45 points. Doesn't seem like a lot, but when you've struggled to score as much as Scott City has, and when you're as committed on the defensive end as this Scott City team is, that's going to give them a much better opportunity to try and get on a hot streak going into sub-state play. Scott City is winless in GWAC action, having lost games to Hugoton, Ulysses, and Holcomb so far in their league contest. Colby has a league win at Ulysses, but has lost their last 2 league games at Hugoton, and that loss to Goodland at the community building back on February 9th. This Colby team couldn't be hungrier for a win. They're hoping to snap that 7-game losing skid here tonight at the gleaming Scott Community Events Center. We'll hear from the head coach of the Eagles, Parker McKee, when we come back after this break. You're listening to the Funk Optometry pregame show. It's the Eagles on radio, 100.3 The Ride. Welcome back to the Scott Community Events Center. We are moments away from the start of this boys basketball GWAC contest between the Colby Eagles and the host Scott City Beavers. Both teams are at their respective benches, getting set for the announcement of the starting lineups, and we'll give them to you here first. For the visitors, the Colby Eagles, 6-11 on the season, and they are 1-2 in GWAC play. Their head coach in his second season is Parker McKee. Starting at the point for Colby is Hunter Vaughn, the 5'9 sophomore. At the 2 is Ryan Myers, a 6'2 senior. At the 3, Jaron Rush, a 6' senior. At the 4, Jacob Wetter, a 6'3 senior. And in the middle, Peyton Wallmeyer, a 6'5 senior. Vaughn, Myers, Rush, Wetter, and Wallmeyer for the Eagles. It is the 16th time that 5 has started together this year. Colby in their road black uniforms tonight. Bit of a change for Scott City tonight. The Beavers are 4-13 on the season, 0-3 in GWAC play. Their head coach in his 5th season is Brian Gentry. There are 6 seniors on this roster, 5 of whom play regularly, and it will be the 5 seniors who start together tonight for the Beavers. It will be a 5-guard lineup to start the game. Isaac Tarango is a 6' senior. Josh Rosine is a 6' senior. Harrison King is a 6' senior. Sawyer Stevens, a 6' senior. And Blaine Culp, stop me if you've heard this, a 6' senior. Tarango, Rosine, King, Stevens, and Culp will be the 5 for the Beavers. They are in their home whites. Home crowd on their feet making some noise. As the Beaver 5 is introduced. Now, this is not Scott City's last home game of the year, but it was their last scheduled home game of the year. So that's why they did senior night festivities tonight. They did it before. They did it before they had it scheduled before the boys game, is what I meant to say. And so they do have one more home game left this year. I believe they are at home against Cimarron next Friday night, or next Thursday, in fact. And that's their regular season finale. That was a game that was scheduled for December that got postponed. The public address announcer here at Scott City is really into his job, and he takes his time introducing the starting 5s for both teams. He did it before the girls' game, did it again before the boys' game. Colby won the first meeting between these two, 46-34. Colby outscored Scott City 12-2 in the fourth quarter of that game. Ryan Myers had a monster night that game, a season-high 27 points, including 7 made three-pointers, and Colby could sure use another big offensive night from their leading scorer here tonight. Colby will start with the ball left to right as you're listening or as you're watching on our Rockingham Media NWKS YouTube channel. We're up in the corner tonight, so that's your camera angle as well. Jaron Rush inbounds to Hunter Vaughn, and we are underway. Quickly into the front court, Jacob Wetter has it right wing. Scott City starts in a 2-3 zone defense. Jaron Rush on the high post, bounces for Wallmeyer. Across the floor to the left corner and open Hunter Vaughn for 3. Left it short, rebound loose in the paint. It comes out to Myers, top of the key. Second chance for Colby. Wallmeyer at the foul line, hands off to Myers. Left wing pass for Wetter. Wetter fakes an entry, dribbles to the right wing and stops and pitches back to Vaughn. Vaughn to the high post, Wallmeyer feeds a cutter rush down the middle of the lane, right-handed teardrop runner drops in. And Jaron Rush opens the scoring for Colby. They lead 2-0. A second chance bucket there for the Eagles, 40 seconds in. Man-to-man defense for Colby. Blaine Culp has it right wing for Scott City. Bounces it down low for King on the post, and a jump ball is whistled between King and Hunter Vaughn. Scott City has the arrow. All 5 Scott City starters are 6 feet tall. There's not a post in the bunch, so they sent Harrison King there to the low block to try and post up on that play. King catches the inbound right wing, drives into the paint, head fake, double team, kick out Culp. Top of the key, a three-pointer. An air ball out of bounds. Scott City just a 31% three-point shooting team. Culp on the year, 15%. So that is a shot Colby is willing to give. Colby in the front court, minute into the first quarter with a 2-0 lead. Wallmeyer in the high post. Turnaround, 14-foot jumper. Got to the front rim and grazed it. Rebound loose. And Culp collects for Scott City. Into the front court, a three on the way from Rosine, left wing, and it bounces off the front rim and kicks in. Rosine is the three-point threat, a 39% three-point shooter. Gives Scott City a 3-2 advantage. 6:35 to play in the first. Rush, backdoor Wetter, low block right, tiptoeing the sideline, kicks out to Vaughn, right corner three, an air ball, way off the mark, but the rebound out of bounds off of Scott City as Tarango tangled with Wallmeyer. Vaughn to inbound, hoop to his left underneath, out to Rush on the wing, up top for Wallmeyer, who reverses into the post. Now Rush in the paint, tried to bounce it out to the corner, and Rosine kicked it. Dead ball, Colby keeps possession. Vaughn with the hoop to his right, inbounding. Bounce pass, Wallmeyer, low block left with position, lays it up and in. Wallmeyer using the height advantage and the strength advantage on this five-guard lineup to score. 4-3 Colby, 6:10 to play in the first. Culp to Rosine, cut off as he tried to cut through the lane by Wetter. Back up top for Culp. Now Tarango off a high screen, top of the key, stops his dribble, swings it up high left for King. King crosses to the left hand, driving, cut off, forced to the short corner left, backing down Rush, kicks out to Culp, top of the circle. Now high left, Rosine, one-on-one with Myers. Hand off to King, and King resets the offense out near midcourt. Jaron Rush has drawn that defensive assignment. Angle dribble right for King, across to Tarango, left wing, a three-pointer over Wallmeyer up off the back rim. Big bounce on the rebound, Rosine collects. Second chance here for Scott City. Rosine has it between the circles. Left wing pass for Rosine. Now King up top. Hands off to Rosine. Rosine on the drive down the middle of the paint. Scoop shot with the right hand. An air ball as he took a tumble. Rebounded by Myers, weak side. Colby on the run. It's Wallmeyer down the middle of the floor. Stopping at the top of the key in a double team. Kick out to the trailer Myers. Now Rush right side. Rush to Wallmeyer on the post. Slipping inside. Feeding it to the top of the key for Vaughn. Vaughn drives into the paint around two defenders. Scoop shot with the left hand off glass. Good. Patient drive by Hunter Vaughn, attacking the rim for two. His first basket. 6-3. Colby doubling up Scott City 3 minutes into the first quarter. Culp through the paint. Trying to kick out right wing, but shuffled the feet. A travel called on Scott City. Sub in the game for the Beavers. Carter Gooden checks in, a 6'3 junior. And also in is Gus Hawkins, a 6'5 freshman. Gooden usually starts, so he's in for Tarango. And then Sawyer Stevens to the bench as well. So a much bigger lineup here for Scott City with the 6'3 Gooden and the 6'5 Hawkins in. They stay in the zone. Wallmeyer high post to Rush, short corner left side. Rush attacks and flips back to Wallmeyer. Foul line jumper on the way. Rolls home. Peyton Wallmeyer with a soft touch from 15 feet. Colby on a 6-0 run. They lead 8-3 with 4:35 left in the first. King stops his dribble high left. Across the floor, flips to Culp. Culp trying to get it to Rosine. Vaughn doing a good job staying with him off the ball. Culp dribbles into the corner, drives the right baseline, slips inside, layup up, blocked by Wallmeyer, who has the rebound. Colby looking to run. Wallmeyer sprinting up the middle of the floor. In the left corner for Myers. Myers fakes the three, steps back, takes the three. Air ball, the rebound to Wallmeyer, low block right, the put back up and in off the window. Timeout, Scott City. Colby on an 8-0 run. They lead 10-3 with 4:06 to play in the first quarter. This is a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Peyton Wallmeyer going to work. He has 6 early points. He has bumped his season average over these last handful of games to 14.1 points per game, second best on the team. And so far, he is imposing his will on both ends of the floor in the post. 8-0 Colby run gives him a 7-point lead. And a fast start, just what the doctor ordered for an Eagle team that has come in losers of 7 straight. No changes for Colby out of the timeout. No changes for Scott City. Colby showing a press. Jaron Rush at the head of a 1-2-2. Harrison King with the handle. Stops in the backcourt across to Culp. Across the midline on the right side. Back to King between the circles. He calls a play. Picks up the dribble. Bounces for Gooden. High right elbow. Hand off to King. Stripped to the ball by Rush. It's out of bounds along the right sideline. Jaron Rush denied King the driving lane and poked the ball out of bounds. Sub coming in for Scott City. It's Austin Tone. 5'11 junior will sub in to replace King. Inbounding below the free throw line on the right sideline is Rosine. Finds Tone between the circles. Tone one dribble back to Rosine right side. Into the post, Gooden. Backing down Wetter. Spins baseline up and under fake. Kick out for Culp. Extra pass, Tone. Left corner three. Swish. Austin Tone stops the 8-0 Colby run with a triple. And it's 10-6 Colby. 3:25 to play first quarter. Vaughn left wing as Scott City goes back to man-to-man. Vaughn on the drive into the paint, collides with a defender. Shot high off the window, no. Rebounded by Gooden, but Gooden was out of bounds when he caught the board. Colby maintains possession. Another second chance opportunity here for the Eagles. Vaughn sets the play in motion and lobs for Rush. Top of the key, left wing pass for Myers. Back down low to Wallmeyer in a triple team. Powers his way up and is fouled. Wallmeyer got to the middle of the paint with two defenders, bracketed around him, and just took it up as strong as he could and drew the contact from Carter Gooden. That's his first on either team in the game. Peyton Wallmeyer to the line for a pair. On the year, Peyton a 60% foul shooter, a mark that's gone up in recent games. First free throw try here off the front rim short. Two subs for Scott City. Lawson Bailey, a 6-foot sophomore. Dylan Metzger, a 5'10 sophomore. Checking in, sending Rosine and Culp to the bench. One more free throw for Wallmeyer with 3:11 to play in the first quarter. Colby leading by 4, and now 5 as he gets the roll. 11-6 Eagles. Bailey at the controls for Scott City, crossing the midline. Quickly to Tone, left wing. Underneath for Hawkins, who spins around Wallmeyer. Shoots in the middle of the post. Didn't get the roll. Contested by both Myers and Wallmeyer. Peyton Wallmeyer with the rebound. Colby on the run. Ahead to Wetter. Wetter to Rush, short corner left side. But Scott City catches up in transition. Colby pulls it back to the top of the key with Vaughn. Myers on the right wing. Down low to Wallmeyer. Low block right shot. Blocked from behind by Hawkins, who has the rebound. A good defensive play by the freshman Gus Hawkins. 2:40 to play first quarter. Colby with the 11-6 lead. Hawkins right wing for Bailey. Up top, a wide open three from straight on. Bailey miss off the back rim. Wallmeyer another rebound. Outlet to Vaughn, flying up the left side of the front court. Vaughn to the wing, stops top of the key. Wallmeyer. He hands to Rush. Rush holds the ball above his head. Feeds the cutter. Wetter down the right lane. Slipped inside of Carter Gooden and lays it in with the right hand. First two for Jacob Wetter. 13-6 Colby with 2:10 to play in the first. Gooden between the circles for Scott City. Guarded by Wetter in the man-to-man. Left wing pass for Bailey. Bailey across right wing Tone. A three-pointer off a screen. Off the heel. And Rush had the rebound. Lost his footing. Saved it in bounds, but he threw it right to Bailey. Bailey's floater in the paint rattles out. Rebounded by Vaughn. Here comes Colby. Vaughn up the middle of the floor. Crossing to the left hand. Forced out to the wing by Lawson Bailey defensively. Hand off to Myers. Back to Vaughn. Colby resets. Wallmeyer left wing outside the arc. Top of the key for Wetter. Right wing to Vaughn. Vaughn to the cutter. Wallmeyer. Low block right. Double team descends. He fakes the pass across the lane. Powers inside with the left hand. Layup blocked by Gooden. And the rebound to Hawkins. That might have been Wallmeyer trying to do a bit too much that time. Instead of firing out into the corner and trying to find an open shooter, he went it alone against two defenders and got stuffed. Bailey, top of the key for Scott City. Right corner for Metzger. Inside to Hawkins. Backing down Wallmeyer. Shot up off the glass is good. Gus Hawkins, the freshman, has a lot of promise for this Scott City team. Averages 5.5 points a game. Cuts the Colby lead to 13-8 with 1:05 to play in the first quarter. Jacob Wetter steps into an open three from the top of the key. Nothing but nylon. Jacob Wetter, unguarded, 20 feet out, says, "I'll take all three. Thank you very much." 16-8 Colby. Final minute of the first. 5 points already for Wetter, who averages just 4 a night. Metzger takes the handoff right elbow, dribbles into the corner and stops out to Bailey on the wing. Bailey on the drive, kick back out to Metzger, free throw line extended right side. Metzger works the dribble against Vaughn, picks it up, lob inside, Hawkins catches, spins away from Wallmeyer, wide open, layup good. 16-10, Colby's lead is 6, 30 seconds to play in the first. Wetter left wing fakes another three, now hands off to Rush. Rush to the top of the circle, right wing pass for Myers. Now Wetter short corner with 20 seconds. Wetter out to the wing to Vaughn. Vaughn cut off by Bailey. Brings the dribble out near midcourt. Now pass right wing for Rush. Rush, top of the key, Wallmeyer, 8 seconds. Vaughn left wing. Vaughn on the drive off the screen. Into the paint he goes. Scoop shot up and under with the right hand is good. Super finish by Hunter Vaughn with 3 seconds. And that's the end of quarter number 1. Outstanding start offensively to this one for the Colby Eagles. They put up 18 on the board in the opening quarter, and they lead Scott City 18-10. Back with the second quarter after this. You're listening to the Eagles on radio, 100.3 The Ride. Dan Lucero back with you for quarter number 2 from Scott City. Colby 18, Scott City 10 after 1 in this boys basketball contest. Colby makes their first sub of the night. Shane Puckett, a 6-foot sophomore, is checked in to replace Jacob Wetter. Jaron Rush, right wing for Colby. Dumps it into the corner for Puckett, his first touch. Puckett one dribble back to the wing for Peyton Wallmeyer, high right. Wallmeyer to Myers, right elbow. Myers trying to drive on Hawkins. Kick out to Puckett, right corner. Puckett brings it back to the wing, now into the corner for Myers. Low block for Rush. Cross the floor, left corner to Vaughn. Vaughn drives the baseline. Into the paint he goes, weaving through traffic all the way out to the right wing. Back to Myers, right corner. Myers, skip past Wallmeyer, top of the circle. Back to the right wing for Myers. 2-3 zone here for Scott City, with Tone and Metzger at the top trying to jump and deflect passes, but Colby has maintained possession for 40 seconds and counting. Myers, left corner, tosses up a three-pointer. Left it short. Rebound to Tone for Scott City. Tone brings it ahead himself. Long lead pass Bailey. Down the baseline. Pull up 8-foot jumper over Wallmeyer. Swish. First 2 for Lawson Bailey off the Scott City bench. Colby lead down to 6, 18-12. 1 minute into the second quarter. Wallmeyer in the high post is double teamed. Stripped by Tone, got it back. Bounce pass to Rush along the baseline. Goes up strong and banks it in with the right hand. Jaron Rush with 4 points. 20-12 Colby. I'll tell you what, Colby gets on average about 8 points a game from the combination of Jaron Rush and Jacob Wetter. Those two have combined for 9 already in this one. Tone underneath to Hawkins, spins away from Wallmeyer and lays it up and in. Gus Hawkins is handling the big chunk of the offense for Scott City underneath. He's got half a dozen off the bench. 20-14 Colby, 6:25 to play first half. Myers up top, fakes a 3, drives on Bailey into the paint, beats 3 defenders and lays it in with the left hand. That's the first 2 for Ryan Myers. Colby going hard to the basket tonight. Aggressive on offense. That has to make Coach Parker McKee happy. They lead at 22-14. Jace Thomas, who just checked in the left corner for Scott City, out top for Metzger. He missed the 3, but able to tip his own rebound to Bailey. Now Tone top of the circle. Back to Bailey on the right wing. Bailey fakes the 3. Back up top for Tone. Deep 3 from straight on. Short, and Jaron Rush collects for Colby. Long pass ahead looking for Vaughn, who tips it away from Tone. 3 defenders as Vaughn is stripped of the ball. It caromed off his knee and came to Jace Thomas. A turnover for Colby. Thomas, the sophomore, coast to coast, collides with Wallmeyer, and it's an offensive foul. Peyton Wallmeyer drew the charge. He held his ground, and the 6-foot sophomore Jace Thomas plowed right into him. Foul on Thomas, his first, and the second on Scott City in the half. Sub for Colby as Jacob Wetter checks back in, replacing Shane Puckett. For Scott City, Tone, Metzger, and Bailey go to the bench, as does Hawkins. Rosine and King and Stevens and Culp return to the floor. It's those 4 with Thomas. So once again, it's a 5-guard lineup for the Beavers with nobody in the game taller than 6 feet. In other words, watch out for Peyton Wallmeyer here. 5:40 to play first half. Colby on top, 22-14. Wetter right wing to Wallmeyer at the foul line. The defender Stevens giving up 5 inches. Right wing to Wetter. Wetter driving the baseline. Spins to his left in the paint and flipped it up, but he missed the shot and it wouldn't have counted anyway. Traveling called on Jacob Wetter. Just did drag that pivot foot before he went up. Picked up the dribble about a beat too early. Good move otherwise. Scott City ball. Angling left is King. The standout quarterback in the fall for Scott City. Top of the key, Rosine, guarded by Myers. Step back 3 over Myers on the way from straight on. Off the back rim, and the loose ball rebound run down by Jaron Rush. Colby the other way. Rush has it top of the key. Left wing Myers underneath Wallmeyer. Wallmeyer to the foul line for Rush. He backs his way into the paint, kicks it back out for Vaughn. Vaughn hands to Myers between the rings. Myers, right wing pass for Wetter. Now it's Wallmeyer, low block right, slipping along the baseline, feeds it out to Wetter. Now Vaughn, top of the key, three from straight on, no. Rebounded by Ryan Myers underneath. Colby resets. Myers with a dribble between the circles. Now Wallmeyer has it again, slipping inside the baseline. Low block right, lays it up and in. 9 points for Peyton Wallmeyer to lead all scorers. Colby by 10, their largest lead. 24-14 with 4:25 left in the first half. Rosine off a King screen, drives into the paint, he goes, and he collides with Wallmeyer, and the foul is called on Peyton. That's his first, and the first on Colby in the contest. Carter Gooden at the table. He checks in, replacing Jace Thomas. So the Beavers have a big man in the game, the 6'3 junior. Their leading rebounder at 5.5 boards a game. Inbound to Gooden in the left corner, out top for Culp. Now Rosine on the high post right. Myers with a hand in his face, across to King left wing. King backing down Vaughn to the foul line. Kick to Culp, long two from straight on. Knocks it down. First two for Blaine Culp. 24-16 Colby, halfway through the second quarter. Hunter Vaughn, short corner right. Gooden defending him in the 2-3. Bounce pass to Wallmeyer. To his left in the middle of the paint. Kick out Myers left wing. Skip pass across to the Vaughn. Vaughn fakes the three. Back to Myers between the circles. Now Rush, short corner right. Rush feeds Wallmeyer with position. Low block right. Spins to his middle. Triple teamed. Out to Rush at the foul line. And before the shot, 3-second violation called on Peyton Wallmeyer. That was one where Wallmeyer caught the pass and could have just gone straight up. But he didn't like his positioning underneath, and that allowed the defense to descend and force the turnover, Colby's third. Scott City ball down by 8, 3.5 minutes to play in the first half. Gooden in the right corner. Up top for Rosine, pass deflected by Wetter, and Wetter's got the breakaway. Jacob Wetter the other way, tried to dunk it, it goes in, he's fouled! Jacob Wetter tried to throw it down on the break. He got the rim, the ball popcorned between the cylinder, dropped in, and the foul called on Rosine. Rosine's first, team foul number 3, and Jacob Wetter 1 point off of tying a season high here in the first half. The lead back to 10 for Colby. The free throw on the way for Jacob Wetter. A line drive that rattles out, rebounded by Gooden for Scott City. 26-16 Eagles. Scott City into the front court. Culp right wing. Guarded by Rush. Takes the dribble into the corner, and Rush fouls with the body. That's Jaron's first. Team foul number 2 on Colby. Shane Puckett has checked into the game for the Eagles. He replaces Peyton Wallmeyer. Short rest for Colby starting center. Inbound to Gooden, double teamed in the post, and then he traveled with it as he picked up the dribble in the middle of the lane before he could kick it out to an open shooter. Turnover number 3 for the Beavers. Hunter Vaughn into the front court for Colby. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Eagles with a 10-point advantage. Rush to Wetter, right wing. Fakes the three, gets to Myers. Myers three from the right corner. Swish! Ryan Myers right between the eyes from behind the arc. He's got 5. Colby by 13, 29-16, with 2:40 left in the first half. Gooden, high post left side. Fakes the handoff to King, kicks it out to Culp. Culp fakes the three and drives with the left hand into the paint. The reverse layup with the right hand up and in. Nifty drive for the senior Blaine Culp. 29-18 Colby. 2:25 left in the first half. Puckett right wing for Colby, in the corner for Vaughn. Vaughn to the high post for Jaron Rush. Now Myers short corner. Myers fakes a shot, drives, reverse layup with the left hand up and in. Nifty finish for Ryan Myers, who has 7 points all in this quarter. 31-18 Eagles. Quickly ahead, Culp left wing. Culp stripped to the ball as he drove the lane. Loose ball underneath, and Jaron Rush runs it down for Colby. I think it was Vaughn who had the strip. The other way, Puckett on the left wing with the dribble. Out to Myers. Across to Wetter, who hands to Vaughn right wing. Vaughn directing traffic, has a high screen from Rush. Vaughn, hesitation dribble, stripped by Gooden. Ball's on the floor loose. Gooden able to pull it away from Vaughn and flip to a teammate, Stevens. Turnover for Colby. Culp being hounded in the backcourt by Rush. Pass ahead to King left wing. King with the left hand. Stops his dribble. 20 feet out, bounce pass, top of the key, Culp. Now on the right wing, Rosine. Underneath, backing his way down. The floater up by Stevens, no. Rebound ping-pongs around, and Shane Puckett has it for Colby. Minute 20 to play in the first half. Colby by 13 with the ball. Puckett right corner. Out to Vaughn on the wing. Vaughn to the left elbow for Wetter, who fakes the long two, now hands to Myers. Myers thought about the three, gives to Wetter, left corner instead. Wetter stripped, gets it back, tiptoeing the sideline. Out to Rush, high left. Around the horn to Vaughn in front of the Scott City bench right side. Vaughn off the screen from Rush, fakes a three, gives to Wetter up top. Under a minute to play in the half. Myers tees up a three, left wing, left it short. Rebound tip, Rush had it, lost it. It's on the floor. Puckett able to push it out to Wetter. Good hustle play by the sophomore. Wetter drives, shovels to Rush. Rush out to Vaughn, right corner, 4-3. Off the back rim, no. Rebound tipped, and Gooden corrals it for Scott City with 39 seconds left in the first half. Hurrying into the front court is King. King pitches to the trailer, Gooden. Now Rosine left wing. Around a Gooden screen. Trying to split two defenders. Can't. Flips out to King. Now Gooden low block left. Smaller defender Puckett on him. Kick out top of the arc for Culp. Culp jabs, takes the three, and swishes it. 31-21 Colby. Blaine Culp keeping Scott City in this one. Final 15 seconds of the first half. One last try here for the Eagles before the horn. Rush, high post left with 8 seconds. Across to Vaughn, right wing with 5. Vaughn around two defenders. Into the paint he goes. Left-handed layup. Up and a foul! What a finish by Vaughn with 2 seconds to play in the half. Hunter Vaughn a chance for the and one. The foul called on Sawyer Stevens, his first, and Scott City's fourth. Chance to restore the 13-point advantage, which has been Colby's largest, with 2 seconds to play in the first half. Free throw on the way, and it goes. And a quick sub for Colby. Bryce Myers checks in. First action for the 5'10 junior, replacing Jaron Rush. That allows Colby to set up a little press here, make it hard for Scott City to go the length of the floor. Gooden running the baseline, gets it into King, who mishandles. King double teamed. And the fling down the floor gets nowhere near the rim. It wouldn't have counted anyway. That's the end of the first half. And what a half for the Colby Eagles on the road, trying to snap a 7-game losing skid. They take a 13-point lead into the locker room at 34 with the Cornerstone Ag halftime show. You're listening to Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride, KRDQ Colby. Yes. Play 21 and 22. Dump 23. Colby Eagle boys halfway to their first win since January 22nd. They lead Scott City 34-21 at the intermission here in Scott City tonight. Dan Lucero with you on the Cornerstone Ag halftime show. Colby went on an 8-0 run early in the first quarter to take the lead, and they haven't trailed since. The Eagles were getting anything they wanted offensively, and they were getting good balance on the offensive end with players like Jaron Rush and Jacob Wetter chipping in. All 5 starters would score in the first half. 4 of the 5 would score in the first quarter for Colby as they built a 7-point lead, then pushed it out to 8 on a Jacob Wetter 3-pointer. Just the 4th he's made this season. Colby led by 8 at the end of 1, 18-10. Scott City was able to get back within 6 at 20-14, but Colby moved the lead out to double figures for the first time at 24-14, and then nudged it to 29-16 thanks to a 3-pointer from Ryan Myers. Scott City got some 3-point shooting to cut within 10 again, but as the time ticked down, you know, for Colby, the man who makes magic with time expiring is Hunter Vaughn. He is Mr. Buzzer Beater. This one didn't quite beat the horn, but it came with 2 seconds to play in the first half. A driving layup and one. He converted the free throw to restore that 13-point edge for the Eagles. That's where it stands, 34-21 in Colby's favor. When we come back on the Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show, we'll have the halftime totals for you, plus a look back at the Colby Lady Eagles victory from earlier tonight. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. It is halftime here at Scott City. Colby 34, Scott City 21 is the halftime score. And here are the halftime scoring leaders for Scott City. They were led by Blaine Culp's 7 points. It was 6 for Gus Hawkins, 3 apiece for Josh Rosine and Austin Tone, and 2 points for Lawson Bailey. Colby with exceptional balance in that first half. All 5 starters scored. Peyton Wallmeyer led the way with 9 points. Hunter Vaughn, Ryan Myers, and Jacob Wetter all added 7 points, and Jaron Rush chipped in with 4 points. Both Rush and Wetter are above their season averages. Rush averages 3.5 a game. Wetter averages 4 a game, and both have eclipsed that already tonight. Earlier tonight, the Colby Lady Eagles picked up an easy win over Scott City, 53-31, snapping the Lady Beavers' 3-game winning streak. The game was tied at 12 after 1 quarter of play. Colby dominated after that, opening up an 8-point halftime lead and racing out to a 17-point lead after 3 quarters, ultimately winning by 22 behind a 24-point night from Brooklyn Jones. Joining her in double figures for the Lady Eagles were Emma Curry with 11 points and Mackenzie Dodson with 10, as Colby goes to 10-8 on the season and 2-2 in the GWAC. The Lady Beavers of Scott City fall to 5-13 and 2-2 in GWAC play. Colby boys trying to snap that 7-game skid. They're up by 13, 34-21. Back with the second half after this. This has been the Cornerstone Ag Halftime Show. You're listening to the Eagles on radio, 100.3 The Ride. Dan Lucero back with you for the start of quarter number 3 from the Scott Community Events Center. Colby 34, Scott City 21. The score at the half. Colby returns their starting 5 of Hunter Vaughn, Ryan Myers, Jaron Rush, Jacob Wetter, and Peyton Wallmeyer. A change for Scott City as Carter Gooden will start the second half, along with Josh Rosine, Harrison King, Sawyer Stevens, and Blaine Culp. Scott City ball left to right. The third quarter is underway. Colby in the man-to-man to start. Gooden has it. Low block left. Backing down. Wallmeyer up and under. Head fake, and the layup is good. He drew Wallmeyer into the air and banked it up and in. First two for Gooden, who averages just under 6 a game. 34-23 Colby. 20 seconds into the third quarter. First possession for the Eagles. Wallmeyer, high post left. Kicks out to Vaughn. Touch pass Myers. Right corner and open three. Left it just a hair long, and it's rebounded by Gooden down low for the Beavers. Into the front court, speeding is King. Into the paint, left side, turnaround baby hook up over. Vaughn rolls in. Back-to-back buckets for Scott City to start the half, and they're within 9, 34-25. Wetter, high right, check by King. Man-to-man defense for Scott City here. Left corner, Myers, another open three-point look. That one goes. Ryan Myers knocks down the open triple in the corner. He's into double figures with 10, 37-25 Eagles. Minute and change into the third quarter. King, top of the key, stops his dribble at the foul line and dragged the pivot foot. Traveling called on the senior point guard for the Beavers. First two possessions for Colby have been wide open. Ryan Myers threes in the left corner against what looks a bit like a 2-3 zone now. Wallmeyer has it at the foul line, out to Wetter, right wing. He fakes a three, dribbles to the foul line, pitches back, deflected, and stolen by King. The other way comes Scott City. King spinning to the left elbow, inside off the screen, stops his dribble, double teamed on the low block, bounce pass out to Culp. Culp drives on Myers, into the paint he goes, jump stop, collides with Wallmeyer, offensive foul! Wallmeyer draws a charge for the second time tonight. First foul on Culp, first foul on either team in the half. 6:25 to play in the third, 37-25 Colby. Inbound from Wetter to Vaughn. Vaughn jogs it ahead over the timeline. Left wing pass for Rush. Back to Vaughn. Now Myers dumps it. Wallmeyer, short corner right. Out to the wing for Vaughn. Back in the corner for Myers. Fakes the three as Sawyer Stevens closed him down. Myers drives. His floater may have been partially blocked. It was an air ball. Rebounded by Stevens. Scott City on the run the other way. Rosine into the right corner for Culp. Culp Top of the key, King fakes a three, gives to Rosine. Now short corner left at Stevens. Stevens backing down Rush, shovels inside of the cutter. Culp stripped and got it back. Culp power dribble inside, shot spiked by Wallmeyer. Rebounded by Vaughn. Vaughn on the break the other way. Down the middle of the floor, left-handed layup too strong. Offensive, no, it's a blocking foul. Josh Rosine was all the way underneath the basket. That was always going to be a defensive foul. I guess my brain just kind of braces for that call not going the way of the offensive player. But Hunter Vaughn to the free throw line for a pair. His first free throw rattles in. Foul on Rosine, his second. Team foul number 2 on the Beavers. 5:44 to play in the third. Lead back to 13 for Colby, and it stays there as Vaughn goes 1 for 2 from the line. Missed the second one strong. 38-25 Eagles. King left wing, inside Gooden, forced 12 feet out by Wallmeyer. Driving the baseline, Wallmeyer cut him off. Kick out up top for King, now Rosine, right wing three, blocked by Myers, but Rosine catches the deflection. It's now skip pass to the left. Culp has to save it, but he can't. He stepped on the end line. A turnover by Scott City. Colby is flying around, playing some excellent defense, couple of blocked shots the last 2 times down. And a host of subs for Scott City. Gooden will stay on the floor. Tone, Bailey, and Metzger is the new backcourt, and Gus Hawkins, a 6'5 freshman, joins Gooden in the front court. Wallmeyer, high post left. Hawkins on his back. Kick out to Vaughn, left wing. Vaughn drives around Gooden. Right-handed floater from the baseline. Up and around the rim and in. Hunter Vaughn into double figures with 10. 40-25. Largest lead of the night for Colby with 5 minutes to play in the third. Tone, left wing. Driving baseline. Rush forced him back out to the wing. Now a pass through the paint. Gooden cutting the lane. Head fake. Lay it with the right hand. Up and in. 4 points for Gooden all in this quarter. 40-27 Eagles. Rush to Wetter, top of the key for Colby. 4:40 to play in this third quarter. Vaughn fakes a three, right wing, drives into the paint, he goes. Now flips to Wetter on the left wing. Back out to the top of the key with Jaron Rush. He signals a play and gives to Wetter left wing. In the corner, Vaughn. Vaughn lobs Wallmeyer, backing down Gooden on the block. He kicks back out to the left wing for Vaughn. Lob back to Wallmeyer, double team in the post. Hand off to Rush. Rush goes up strong and is fouled on the layup attempt. Jaron Rush headed to the free throw line for 2. Wallmeyer had 2 defenders on his back, so there was nobody guarding Rush, so he just kind of flipped it to Rush, and Jaron went right to the basket, got fouled by Gooden. That's Gooden's second, team foul number 3. Jaron Rush on the year, just 5 of 20 at the free throw line. First try for Jaron. Swish, that did not look like a 25% three-point shooter's release right there. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Jaron. One more coming with 4:19 to play in the third. Bend of the knees, right-handed release. All net, how about that? Jaron Rush with 6 points tonight, 42-27, Colby in front. Lawson Bailey, right wing, down low for Gooden, backing down Wetter, spins baseline right, head fake, layup, too strong, rebounded by Hawkins, low block left. He missed the putback as he collided with a defender. Wallmeyer had it and then was stripped by Bailey, and Bailey got fouled underneath. Fouls on Jacob Wetter, that's his first on Colby in the half. Metzger with the hoop to his right, sets the out-of-bounds play in motion, whips it to the top of the key, and it's stolen by Ryan Myers. 2-on-1. Myers bounces across the floor to Jaron Rush. The right-handed layup up and in. Jaron Rush is tied a season high with 8 points. 44-27 Colby, halfway through the third. Gooden, low block left, kicks out to Tone, spot up three-pointer on the way. Short, rebounded by Hawkins, goes up strong in the post with the right-hand floater, he missed it off the back rim, and Wetter collects a strong weak side defensive rebound. Outlet ahead for Hunter Vaughn. Vaughn, hesitation drive, cut off by Tone, forced to the left corner. Out to Myers, now around the horn, it's Rush. Rush lobbing for Wallmeyer, low block right. Double team descends, he's stripped by Metzger, it's out of bounds underneath. Stays with Colby. Scott City makes a sub. Jace Thomas checks back in, replacing Carter Gooden. And as Scott City goes to a one big lineup, Colby makes a change as well, sending Shane Puckett into the game, replacing Jaron Rush. 3:29 to play in the third. Colby by 17, their largest lead of the contest. They're on a 10-2 run presently. Hunter Vaughn to inbound for Colby, hoop to his right underneath. Vaughn finds Myers in the left corner. Spot up three on the way. Bullseye! Ryan Myers from downtown, and Colby calls a full timeout as they have taken a 20-point lead, 47-27 with 3:24 to play in the third. We're back in a minute. You're listening to the Eagles on radio, 100.3 The Ride. (47-27) Colby. They're on a 13-2 run with 3:20 and counting to play in the third quarter. Scott City ball out of the timeout, moving left to right. Gus Hawkins has it, middle of the paint, backing down. Peyton Wallmeyer, drop step to the right. Baby hook too strong. Rebound tipped by Lawson Bailey, and Bailey floats it back up and in on the second chance. 47-29. Colby quickly into the front court. Shane Puckett across to the left for Jacob Wetter. Wetter one dribble, has a defender all over him, and the pass into the corner is deflected and stolen by Bailey, and then Bailey is fouled by Wetter coming up the floor. Relentless defensive effort there by Lawson Bailey. Wetter earns the personal, his second, team foul number 2 on Colby. Jaron Rush at the table for the Eagles. He'll replace Wetter. Lawson Bailey inbounding in front of the scores table, and as he turned to throw it into Dylan Metzger, Hunter Vaughn flashed into his line of sight, and Bailey stepped over the sideline. That's a turnover. 9th turnover for the Beavers. And all Hunter Vaughn had to do was jab step hard in one direction to force that turnover. He was grinning after that like the cat that ate the canary. It's kind of a dated reference. Right wing 3 for Hunter Vaughn on the way short. Rebound tipped in the paint. Loose ball out in the far corner. And Lawson Bailey runs it down for the Beavers. Metzger into the forecourt with a between the legs dribble. Vaughn on him one-on-one. High screen comes from Hawkins. Screen and slip. Hawkins catches underneath the basket. Drop step layup. Blocked by Wallmeyer. Rebound out of bounds off of Hawkins. It's Colby ball. Second block shot tonight for Wallmeyer. Colby ball with a 47-29 lead. 2:20 to play in the third. Myers, free throw line extended on the right. Into the corner for Wallmeyer. Out to the wing for Puckett. Around the horn it comes to Rush. To Myers on the post. And Myers is fouled by Tone on the catch. First foul on Austin Tone. And the fourth on Scott City in the half. Hunter Vaughn, the trigger man on the out of bounds, quickly to Myers on the post, backing down Tone, head fakes him in the air, layup left short, Wallmeyer with the offensive rebound. Lob out to Vaughn, Hunter Vaughn with the pump fake and the drive, but the pivot foot slid on him, traveling call, turnover number 8 for Colby. 2:01 to play in the third, Colby with an 18-point lead. They led by 13 at the half, and they have led by as many as 20. Chase Thomas mishandles the dribble, runs down the loose ball, has it poked away, Jaron Rush has it. Rush on the break down the right side of the paint, tucks it in, misses the layup, but draws the foul. He tucked it on his hip like a running back, absorbed the foul from Tone, but he didn't get it up high enough on the square, and Jaron Rush will shoot 2. Foul on Tone, his second, team foul number 5. And Jaron Rush, 1 point shy of setting a new season high tonight for the senior. First free throw on the way. He's been working on these. That's pure. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Sub for Colby. Peyton Wallmeyer will get a breather, replaced by Jacob Wetter. One more free throw coming for Jaron. In and out. Rebounded by Hawkins for Scott City. 48-29 Colby. Minute 43 to play and counting here in the third. Pass inside intended for Hawkins, and Hawkins was bumped as both he and Wetter went for the catch. That foul will be on Jacob Wetter. That's his third. Team foul number 3 on Colby. 2 subs for Scott City. Rosine and Culp back into the game. Bailey and Tone go to the bench. Dylan Metzger inbound, sets the play in motion with a slap of the basketball from underneath. Lob out top, just over a leaping rush, comes down to Culp. Culp drives, stops left elbow. Up top with a pass for Hawkins. Now on the right wing in the hands of Thomas. Around the horn into the left corner for Culp. Culp probing the baseline into a double team defensively. The trap comes and a reach-in foul is called on Ryan Myers. Myers thought he got all ball, but he got some arm as well. That's the first foul on Ryan Myers. And it is team foul number 4 on Colby. Rosine, 2 inbound. Finds Thomas in the corner. Back inside, intended for Rosine. Tipped away by Wetter, and a loose ball to Myers. Here comes Colby. Myers to Vaughn, right corner. Jab, step, fake, drives, beats 2 defenders. Into the paint, lefty scoop shot blocked by Hawkins, the trailing defender. Nice play again by the freshman defensively. The rebound to Rosine. Outlet ahead of Thomas. Thomas down the lane on the right. Hooks a pass to Hawkins. Reaching in his rush for the tie-up, and he gets it this time. Jump ball arrow favors Colby. Quick hands from Jaron Rush. Playing, I think, his best game of the season tonight. Minute 1 to play in the third quarter. 48-29 Colby. As Rush will take a breather. Well earned. He's replaced by Peyton Wallmeyer. For Scott City, Sawyer Stevens enters, and he checks in for Gus Hawkins. Colby into the front court. Vaughn between the circles, left wing for Wetter, about 25 feet from the basket. Wetter guarded by Blaine Culp. It's 2-3 zone defense for Scott City. Myers left wing into the corner for Vaughn. Vaughn back to Myers on the wing. Down to 40 seconds to play in the third. Between the circles, it's Wetter. Backing away from his defender with a dribble. Hands off to Vaughn, and Vaughn walks it back to the midline. Under 30 seconds to play in the third. Colby may be content to hold for one shot here. Myers nearly threw it away. Intended for Vaughn in the left corner of the front court, but a lunging Dylan Metzger poked the pass out of bounds. Colby to inbound in the front court along the left sideline. Shane Puckett comes to take it. Puckett just checked in. Puckett has it right wing out to Vaughn. 15 seconds. Now Myers top of the key. Myers left corner to Puckett. Puckett back to Myers. Down to 8 seconds. Myers 35 feet out between the circles. Right wing to Peyton Wallmeyer. Down to 5. Down to 4. Wallmeyer drive and kick. Myers right wing. Contested 3. Swish! As time expires, Ryan Myers beats the buzzer and gives Colby a 22-point lead. 51-29 as we head to the fourth quarter here in Scott City. We're back in 1 minute. You're listening to the Eagles on radio. 100.3 to Rye. Fourth quarter underway from Scott City. Colby is 8 minutes away from ending a 7-game losing streak. They lead Scott City 51-29. And what a catharsis this may end up feeling like for Colby. They are just 8 minutes away from their first win since January 22nd. It's Scott City ball. Jace Thomas on the drive down the right side of the lane, and his layup through the defense is up and in. First 2 for Jace Thomas. 8 different Beavers have scored tonight. At the top of the key, Peyton Wallmeyer feeds to Jaron Rush, who head fakes on the low block right, but got happy feet and traveling is called. Turnover number 9 for Colby. Sub in for Scott City, Harrison King replaces Dylan Metzger. Colby led by 13 at the half. And then after Scott City got it to within 9, closed the quarter on a 17-4 run. There's a pass into the paint, deflected away and stolen. Ryan Myers with the steal for Colby the other way. Myers cut off at the foul line, bounces for Wetter between the circles. He hands to Hunter Vaughn. Vaughn to Wallmeyer up top. 25 feet out, being guarded by Blaine Culp. Now to the foul line, it's Myers. Driving on King, into the paint. Forced wide, missed the runner. Tipped by Rush, no. Rebound, volleyballed in the air in the paint. And Sawyer Stevens comes down with it for the Beavers. Minute and change into the fourth quarter. 20-point lead for Colby. Turnaround jumper by King at the foul line is an air ball. The rebound is out of bounds. Last touch by Rush as Rosine spiked it off of Rush's foot. Rosine inbounding for Scott City. Finds King out on the right wing. King with the lefty drive into the paint. Right-handed runner in and out. Rebounded by Hunter Vaughn, his defender. Little pressure from King in the backcourt. Pass to Wallmeyer. Wallmeyer crosses the midline, then hands off to Vaughn in the light blue Beaver logo down on the floor. Peyton Wallmeyer, top of the key for Colby. Driving now into the lane left. Spins to the top of the key with a pass, but dragged the pivot foot. Another travel called on Colby. Pair of subs coming for Scott City. They go to their two bigs, Carter Gooden and Gus Hawkins, as Thomas and Stevens sit. 6:16 to play in the game. Colby with a 20-point advantage. They have led since an 8-0 first quarter run, put them in front 10-3. Hawkins, top of the key, being given a wide berth by Peyton Wallmeyer. Pass across to King, right wing, his three-pointer, nothing but net. Harrison King cuts the Colby lead to 51-34 with 2 minutes gone in the fourth. And then King commits a foul on Vaughn, riding him up the floor. He fouled him 50 feet from the basket. Foul on King is first. Team foul number 6 on Scott City. So Colby in the bonus for the final 5:54. Jaron Rush inbounding at the scorer's table near side. Flings it out ahead into the front court left wing for Wallmeyer. Out to Vaughn, back to Wallmeyer as those two play catch left side of the floor. Now Jacob Wetter comes and takes it between the circles. Right wing for Vaughn. Vaughn fakes an entry pass, gives to Myers up top. Ryan Myers probing, Euro stepping through the paint. Right-handed layup, high off the window and in. Oh, what a finish by Ryan Myers. He's got a game-high 18 points. 53-34 Colby. 5.5 minutes to go. Gooden to Hawkins, top of the circle. Colby not even pretending to guard Hawkins on the perimeter. Now Gooden, short corner left, head fakes Wetter into the air, drives the baseline, tried to throw it across the floor, threw it right to Hunter Vaughn. Vaughn outlet ahead of Ryan Myers ahead of the floor, and Myers trying to finger roll and miss, but he was fouled from behind. Myers went up for the finger roll, was too far underneath the basket, and it hit the front of the rim, but the trailing official blows the whistle and calls the foul on Blaine Culp, and Culp can't believe it. And Ryan Myers is going to shoot 2 free throws. I'm a little baffled by that whistle, too, I have to admit. It looked like the official assumed there must have been contact that forced Myers that far beneath the basket on the layup, but I really don't think there was. Anyway, Myers takes advantage with the first free throw, nothing but net. And the second try, also good, as Myers is up to 20 points tonight, the 5th time this year he's reached that total. 55-34 Eagles, 5:08 to play. King stops his dribble out high, bounces across the floor to Rosine. Now Culp on the right wing. Culp with a lefty drive, cut off at the foul line. Trick from behind, steal by Peyton Wallmeyer. Nifty behind the back dribble, then Wallmeyer lost control of it. Myers saved it inbounds to his teammate. Now it's Vaughn through the paint. Behind the back to Rush. The layup is good. Oh, baby! Put it on the mixtape. A behind the back assist from Hunter Vaughn to Jaron Rush, and Scott City wants a timeout. That is the exclamation point on a feel-good W coming down the pike for the Colby Eagles. 57-34 with 4:45 to go. We're back in a minute. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. 57 points for the Colby Eagles tonight. They are most in a game since January 15th when they scored 63 in a road win at Ulysses. They lead Scott City 57-34 with 4:45 to play in this one and are just that far away from snapping their 7-game losing skid. Scott City ball out of the timeout, left to right as you listen into the front court is Harrison King, dribbling on the left wing. Pass to the top of the key for Josh Rosine, who pump fakes a three. Back to King on the wing. King with a righty dribble to the foul line. Pitches back to Blaine Culp. Culp back to King, right wing. A three-pointer over Hunter Vaughn on the way is short. And flying in for the board is Jacob Wetter for Colby. Into the front court is Myers. And Myers accelerates. Nobody guarding the middle of the paint. Myers takes it himself and lays it in with the right hand. 8-0 run now for Colby. They lead 59-34. Their largest lead of the night as we approach the midway point of this fourth quarter. Culp, right wing, with the dribble to the elbow, stops. Bounce pass down low. It's Hawkins, and Hawkins stripped from behind by Jaron Rush. The ball out of bounds will stay with Scott City. Subs coming. Isaac Tarango, who started the game but was removed early and hadn't played since. The senior checks back in. Austin Tone, Lawson Bailey, Jace Thomas, and Dylan Metzger. New 5 altogether for Scott City. Lawson Bailey with space on the right wing, fires up a 3 and drains it. Lawson Bailey with 7 tonight off the Scott City bench. 59-37 Colby, 3:45 to go. We'll see if Parker McKee has the occasion to clear his bench here soon, but boy, has his starting 5 played wonderfully tonight. They have all 59 points. Wallmeyer feeds Vaughn, who tips it in one motion on the right block and misses, but has his own rebound. Goes back up on the left side and can't get that one to fall. Tough break for Vaughn, rebounded by Tarango. Outlet ahead finds Bailey, who spots up for 3 in the left corner. That's short. Loose ball rebound. Wallmeyer has it, saves and inbounds to Myers. 3-on-3 the other way. Myers slows it up. Colby with a 22-point lead as we approach 3 minutes to play. Wetter, low post right. Fakes an entry pass, kicks out to Myers on the wing. Myers across to Wallmeyer, left side in the corner for Rush. Rush to Wetter on the post. Backing down his defender Thomas. Drop step around him. The layup up around the rim, no. Rebounded by Wetter. The stick back is good. And Jacob Wetter has a new season high with 9 points. 61-37 Colby, 2:40 to go. Tone up top, Thomas. Thomas rumbling through the paint. Kicks out to Bailey just inside the arc in the right corner. Skips a pass to Metzger. Now left wing for Tarango. Hand off between the circles for Tone. Tone, a step back three-pointer. Swish. Austin Tone's second 3 of the night. 6th made 3 for Scott City, but they trail 61-40 with 2:20 left. Into the front court is Vaughn, and Vaughn accelerates right past his defender, floats to the basket and lays it in with the left hand. It's too easy for Colby, 63-40. They lead it with 2:05 left. And Parker McKee is going to get to clear his bench tonight. Driving the lane left is Thomas. He is swatted at the rim. Access denied by Ryan Myers, who has the rebound. Myers the other way, driving on Thomas, forced into the right corner. Up top for Wallmeyer, left wing to Wetter. Wetter flips to Rush between the circles. Rush to Myers, right wing. He dumps it for Wetter. Backing down his defender. Spins to his left, up and under fake. Back to the right. Baseline shot. Off glass, no. Rebound is out of bounds. Last touch by Scott City. And here come the rest of the reserves for Colby. Ian Rosales' first action. The 6'3 junior. Eli Korprick, the 6' junior. And Braden Imhoff, the 5'8 sophomore, all checking in. For Imhoff and Korprick, just their 3rd games of the season. Bryce Myers and Shane Puckett also out there for Colby. A lineup that has seen some JV time together this year. Korprick has it top of the key. Stops his dribble, hands to Myers right wing. 23-point Colby lead with 1:15 to go. How good this must feel for this Colby team that hadn't won in nearly a month. It had been a 7-game losing streak that they are going to snap with some authority here tonight on the road. Korprick, short corner right out to the wing for Puckett as the ball moves around the perimeter, left wing for Imhoff. Back to Korprick, top of the key. He fires a 3. Connects! Eli Korprick is into the score sheet this season, knocking down the triple. 66-40 Colby with 50 seconds left. Pure shooting stroke from the junior Eli Corporate. The other way, Kevin Serrano has checked in. Now Efren Tarango down the baseline left. Flings it out to the top of the key. Catch and shoot three for Tone off the front rim. Rebounded by Jace Thomas. His putback from the left block off glass, no. And coming out of a scrum for the board is Bryce Myers for Colby. Final 25 seconds of this one. Command performance by the Colby Eagles. An 8-0 run early on to take the lead, and they never trailed again. In fact, it never got closer than 4 points after that. Imhoff has it high left with 10 seconds. Dribbling out the clock with limited resistance from Scott City. It will be Imhoff with the ball in his hands as the horn blows in 2, in 1. The losing streak is over. The Eagles win it. Final score tonight from the Scott Community Events Center. Colby 66, Scott City 40. We will take a 3-minute break. Come back with the Farmers and Merchants Bank postgame show after this. You're listening to Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. Okay, Clayton, play all of these. Play 28, 29, and 30, and then send it back to me. Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Yeah. No, just play 30 and then bring it back to me. I forgot to mark a break. That's my bad. It is a final from Scott City, and for the first time in a while, the Colby Eagle boys get to have some fun and walk off the floor as winners. The Eagles end a 7-game losing streak with authority tonight in Scott City as they take down the Beavers 66-40. The win moves Colby to 7-11 on the season, 2-2 in GWAC play. Scott City drops to 4-14, and they are 0-4 in the league. Welcome into the Farmers and Merchants Bank postgame show. I am Dan Lucero. A fun night for Colby. Ryan Myers had a big night. Peyton Wallmeyer had a great start. Jacob Wetter and Jaron Rush both set season highs in scoring. It started early and it was relentless. It was the 32 minutes of basketball that Parker McKee's been waiting to see his team play for a while, and boy, did they ever deliver impressively tonight. Colby trailed early 3-2, but went on an 8-0 run in the first quarter and never trailed after that. The closest Scott City would get would be 4 points at 10-6 out of a timeout. Colby pushed the lead up to 8 points at the end of the first quarter, 18-10. The Eagles then went on a 9-2 run to take a double-digit lead, 29-16 in the second quarter, and led by 13 at the half, 34-21, thanks to a three-point play by Hunter Vaughn with 2 seconds left in the half. Scott City got back-to-back buckets in the first minute of the third quarter, closed within 9, 34-25. Colby's response was to outscore Scott City 17-4 through the remainder of the third quarter, and they led 51-29 at the end of 3. And the Eagles cruise from there, 66-40, the final score. We'll take another 2-minute break. We'll come back with more, including the Colby Dodge Ram Tough Player of the Game, the final stats, and our chat with the head coach of the Eagles, Parker McKee, on the Farmers and Merchants Bank postgame show. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. Colby 66, Scott City 40. The Eagles snap their 7-game losing skid here tonight, and it's a sweep for the Eagles and Lady Eagles this evening. Final stats for this boys contest: 8 different Beavers into the score sheet. They were led by Blaine Colt and Lawson Bailey with 7 points apiece. It was 6 apiece for Austin Tone and Gus Hawkins, 5 points for Harrison King, 3 points for Josh Rosine. I missed 4 points from Carter Gooden and 2 points for Jace Thomas. Colby got 3 in double figures tonight. Ryan Myers led the way with 22 points, his 5th 20-plus point game of the season. Hunter Vaughn had 12 points. Jaron Rush, a new season high, with 11 points. Jacob Wetter, a new season high, with 9 points. Peyton Wallmeyer also finished with 9. And Eli Korprick, in the final minute, came off the bench for his first 3 points of the season. Tonight's Colby Dodge Ram Tough player of the game, we got to go with Jaron Rush. I thought it was his best game of the season. The 6-foot senior put together a great effort on both ends and got into the score column in a big way. Averages just 3.5 points per game, but tonight he's into double figures for the first time this year with 11 points. Jaron Rush, tonight's Colby Dodge Ram Tough player of the game. We'll take one final 2-minute break, come back with Coach Parker McKee, and we'll wrap things up from Scott City. You're listening to the Eagles on Radio, 100.3 The Ride. Hey, Clayton, can you cut this break down to 1 minute? What's that? Yeah. Yeah, maybe there were some kids having some good time back there. Maybe they were listening. Maybe they're new fans. We're back after this.
Yep.
Colby 66, Scott City 40, the final in GWAC boys basketball tonight from the Scott Community Events Center. Dan Lucero with you on the Farmers and Merchants Bank postgame show, and joined now by the head coach of the Colby Eagles, Parker McKee. And Parker, we're watching a little horseplay going on out of the door to your locker room. I have to imagine that's as happy as that group and that locker room's been in a while after the game.
I'm telling you, they were excited and well deserving because it's been a gauntlet of a month for us, and I'm excited for them because it's been a lot of blank stares for the last month. And so to get that win, I think, is big for us because hopefully it sets us up with a lot of momentum moving forward.
Felt like there was a lot to like from that game, so I'll let you tell me what you liked the most from your team's performance over the course of that 32 minutes.
Okay, so overall I felt like we were real balanced. The kids, passed the ball. They had a sense of urgency every time down. In transition, we were able to kind of pass the ball ahead, which created a lot of opportunities for us early in the possession and created a lot of closeouts where we could kind of get to the basket. And defensively, I felt like we were able to control kind of where the shots were coming from, and it was a great team effort.
We've talked about guys getting involved offensively all year beyond your top three scorers, Wallmeyer, Myers, and Vaughn. Tonight, you get a season-high 11 points from Jaron Rush. You get a season-high 9 points from Jacob Wetter. Just how important is that for those seniors, those guys, to contribute in that way on the offensive side?
Well, that was the first thing that I talked about when we went down in the locker room was, the balance that we had, and when those kids were so excited for somebody else making a shot, you could tell that it really raised our energy level. It's something we struggled with all season, and so kudos to everybody on the team for being selfless tonight and just buying in and taking it possession by possession. They had some goals set for the game, and I don't think we could check every single one of them off, but we were pretty darn close.
The lead at the half is 13. You and I have talked about how sometimes in the second half things slip a little bit for whatever reason. And Scott City comes out, they score back-to-back buckets. They get within 9 right off the bat in that first minute of the third quarter. Rather than, here we go again, you come down and you get a 3 and you start what ends up being a little 6-0 run that turns into a 13-2 run. What did that response to that start of that third quarter tell you about where your team was at mentally tonight?
Well, I felt like our focus was there. We've been talking the better half of the last couple weeks about our consistency, playing 4 quarters, and for us not to be in panic mode tonight. We kind of trusted the process. We had that urgency we've been preaching about. I've talked to you about it several times, and tonight was a good group effort where I felt like they understood what the goal was at hand, and they did it on every possession.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
All right, thanks, Dan.
That's Parker McKee, head coach of the Colby Eagles, victorious tonight for the first time since January 22nd in their 55-41 win over Beloit at the Orange and Black Classic. Colby had lost 7 straight games, but they snap that losing streak and do so impressively here with a 26-point win over the Scott City Beavers. In fact, it is, for Colby, their largest margin of victory this season, and the 66 points scored by Colby are a new season high, surpassing the 65 that they scored in an overtime loss to Goodland back on January 12th. So they had only scored in the 60s twice and only once in regulation before coming out putting up 66 points against Scott City this evening. Colby goes to 7-11 overall. They are 2-2 in the GWAC. The Beaver boys are 4-14 and 0-4 in GWAC play. What a night for Colby Eagle basketball. No time to, well, there is time to celebrate this one, but at midnight, forget all about it because tomorrow night is a Friday night and it is a game night for the Colby Eagles and Lady Eagles. And this time we mean it. It'll be the final regular season games for Colby basketball inside the community building, as the Colby Event Center will be ready for next year. I've been in there. I can tell you, I can attest. That building will be ready for the 2021-22 campaign. So this will be the final time at the Colby Community Building on Friday night as Colby takes on Cimarron. It will also be senior night. The Lady Eagles tip off at 6 o'clock. There will be a ceremony between games honoring the seniors, and the boys game will follow that. We'll have the coverage for you right here on 100.3 The Ride, starting approximately 20 minutes prior to the start of the girls' contest. But that will do it from Scott City tonight. One more time, your final scores. In girls' action, it was Colby 53, Scott City 31. And in the boys' contest, it was Colby 66 and Scott City 40. For producer-engineer Clayton Jacob, I'm Dan Lucero. It was a pleasure and a privilege bringing you these games tonight from the Scott Community Events Center. I hope you enjoyed listening as much as I enjoyed describing them for you. I know if you're Colby fans, you sure did love tonight's results. A feel-good night of Colby Eagle basketball. We'll try for another pair of wins at the community building tomorrow night. Until then, good night, and thanks for listening to the Eagles on Radio on 100.3 The Ride.